You running? All right, Carl Halal, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honor to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and truth. Brothers are just talking about, the things which are happening in the world, and we're excited, man. We're filled with confidence, man, as you should be. We're in the last days. You should be filled with confidence, man, because the word is just coming to pass, man. And the word is on our side. The word ain't on nobody else's side but us. It ain't on the Chinese side. It ain't on the this is what we do. It ain't on America's side. America's got it the worst. They down bad. It ain't on America's side. It ain't on Britain's side. Russia. The word is on our side. This is what we do know. America don't have a Messiah. China don't have a Messiah. Russia don't have a Messiah. Islam don't have a Messiah. Whoever you want to talk about, don't you know who does have a Messiah? The elect of Israel. Right? So we good. So we supposed to have full boldness and full confidence in these last days. So we don't worry about nothing, man. We just watch and observe, man, and laugh, man. All right. Yeah, let's get that, man. Oh, and also, yeah, get that, and also give me Wisdom of Solomon. What is it? 12? Is it 12 and 13 or 12 and 15? It said make that boldness manifest. Yeah, go on, man. If it's on the money.
2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed.
The word, the prophecy, which is what we've constantly been bringing out, man. The overall of what's going to happen out here is there's going to be a time of tribulation that there wasn't since there was even a nation. And ain't nobody really going to save the world from that. In fact, it's the actual things that these people are doing, saying they're on your side, that is going to lead to it. They're going to lead and manipulate the world into chaos, man. Your very own leaders, they're in on it. Because the chaos, they think they're going to be safe from the chaos. Man like Trump and them, they're not in the world you're in. They got their bunkers and their situations. They get phone calls before you do. They're in the know, you ain't. So they don't mind causing some chaos. It's always been that way. When they had what wasn't World War II orchestrated? They at least weren't worried about World War II. They orchestrated it, man. Same with World War I. But who suffers? The people. And that's going to happen again. The people are going to suffer. And everything you see happen in the news is leading towards that. And there ain't going to be no winner. There's only going to be losers. And that's where people are getting it all wrong. Oh, China's going to win. Oh, no. America's going to make China bow down. And America's, listen, bro, there ain't going to be no winners, man. There's only going to be losers. Across the board. Because that's what the prophecy tells you. And then you have the hour of temptation because they're going to bring that chip. And we've been telling you for years, like, the people are, why is it going to be a temptation to take that chip?
Bad.
Because things are going to be bad. There's going to be a lot of pressure, man. And they're going to want it to eat, because it's going to be problems.
It says,
and it's going to happen. Things ain't always going to be okay.
Yeah. Whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
This is the dark place, man. Because why? The average person is under deception. This whole world is a giant deception, man. From the politics to Hollywood to the media. Man will tell you one thing and really it's another. They'll have two people arguing on the damn TV and both those people are paid for. And they're just framing an argument backward and forward. And the real issue will be ignored.
Yeah.
That's what the left-right paradigm is all about. The politics is all about deceiving the people. Have you looking over here and looking at this and yeah. When in reality, you're getting it raw. No loop.
But the scriptures say, man, they go astray as soon as they be born speaking lies.
Hey, all you gotta do is watch the UK Parliament. Here. And them man listen, them man be gunning each other. Sometimes you're like, yo, that was a good one. They be going in. I don't know if you've ever seen it, yeah. But that's all. But
then they go for lunch.
Yeah, they go. They're all Buller Boys. Yeah. They're part of the Buller Boy Club from Eton. They're all secret handshakes and all that kind of stuff. And we told, man. Well, they said when Conservative came in, Because remember the whole thing of labor's for the poor people,
Yeah.
service for the rich. No, they're all for the rich.
Yeah,
Donuts.
that's a lie.
But that's how they frame it, right?
Because them men themselves are rich. Starman, Starman's a lord. He's already a lord. You know, these men are rich already.
And he's an Arsenal fan, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But when Labour was coming into government, what did we tell man? We said, listen, bro, Labour ain't saving you.
Yeah.
And we gotta get rid of these conservatives, man. So they lost like a landslide. And the way they won, Labour didn't even have to promise nothing. They were like, listen, just shut the fuck up. Man. These men are gonna lose. Yeah.
What's that say? Don't warn your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because conservatives was driving people into the mud. But then everyone thought, yeah, when Labour get in, they go, and then Labour came in.
More money for the poor people.
Yeah, straight away they started killing Granny.
Oh, we didn't realize how bad it was, you know. So we got to do this and that.
They got 22 billion.
Man had to come out and say, yeah, there's going to be, you know, pain before, you know.
And what are they saying now? That the next time conservatives are gonna get in if they or whatever. It doesn't matter.
And so it's going to be one of the things as well is a lot of the stuff that the Labour are doing is akin to the stuff that Trump is doing, but they're supposedly in different
sides of the
spectrum.
Because it's all bullshit. At the end of the day, man, they're gonna crush you. They are gonna crush the people. That's what it's all
Well,
about.
Labour's go more mad than the Conservatives were.
Bro,
Yeah,
they,
Man, taking away your benefits, man. You know, say we'll get back to work.
Well, they're cutting the NHS.
NHS cutting
Jobs
down.
in- but that's like a
But
That's to make it more efficient, though,
but
right?
they're increasing the spending on war and all these different
Ukraine,
things that don't benefit
Ukraine.
nobody.
You know.
This all this political game, and that's why it says this all deception. The people are on the deception. So Esau can come out and lie. He can give you a hero, right? But if you understand the scriptures and you know the prophecies, that hero don't fit. If you understand the prophecy of America, you would automatically know that nobody ain't saving America, that nobody ain't making America great again. So you wouldn't even entertain that foolishness.
Isaiah 31. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord. That
Especially the Israelites, because we're under the curses. The scripture says, "You shall be only oppressed always."
There's no hope.
So if you understand that and you know the only one that's going to lift those curses is Yahweh Shai, then they can't bring no guy that's going to tell you any different because you know he's lying.
Yeah.
You know that's not what's going to happen.
Well, the scripture say in Matthew 24, there should be false prophets and false, messiahs and all these types of things. These people are not for us, man. So they're here to bring nothing but confusion and chaos into the world and to trap us into taking the mark ultimately.
Yeah.
You know?
Because what they're pushing now, they got the real ID that they've just launched in the midst of all this going on. If you keep your eye, you will see that the agenda just keeps going. Don't matter whether it's Trump or Obama, the agenda towards everything we talk about, the MOTB, the time of Jacob, it all just keeps going.
Isaiah 30:1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
You're meant to be listening to the Lord and His word, man. Don't listen to these fools on the TV, right? It's telling you a whole bunch of lies. You know, we take our confidence in the Lord. That's where our confidence comes from.
You know, these agents, man, because these controlled opposition guys like Kanye, yeah, they're going to say certain things that you could utilize because it might be true. But that's the whole point of controlled opposition. Controlled opposition is going to say certain things which is true. But the reason they're controlled is that then they're going to come with the shit that's going to send you left. Or at the opportune moment, they lead you down the wrong path because they're not sincere. They're controlled. Kanye, Candace Owens, flipping Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones is the biggest example of that because he was another left-right paradigm. The New World Order controls the left and the right. Nowadays, he's deep into the left-right paradigm. He brought everybody back into it. Now the right with the left are the demons, and the right wing are cool. When 10 years ago he was warning everyone that the left-right paradigm is a lie.
And again, scripture say, "Fear not about you to do evil, man."
Look,
And,
man,
and you get subverted by following these people that are really just leading you into the path of wickedness.
yeah, they're very good at what they do. They're very good at manipulating the people with reality TV. Trump, that day when they had the whole thing with the markets guy, which they control the market, they could do what they want with it, right? Man standing there on with a camera in his face going, yeah, man, you made 2.15 billion and you made. And then why do you think they did that? Because what's going to happen from that is they got the left can then go, oh, SEAL is insider trading. And now they can have a big backward and forward about that and get you all caught up in that now. You think you didn't know the camera was rolling? Is that something you would say on camera? That's something you're going to say behind closed doors. Like, yeah, you made 2.5 billion. He's said it on purpose because the camera's rolling. It's a show.
So it's get charged.
Yeah, it's Hollywood. Yeah, then they're gonna have the whole thing of them trying to impeach him again and all this theater, and then they can use that where the right like, look, they're trying to get him, and then the left could be like, get him because he's a criminal. Then when they're all criminals, because the left were doing the same thing.
Oh, Pelosi
and all them are doing the same thing. But you see, that's how they keep the people. Well, not us, because we already know they're all devils, man.
That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked on my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
Yeah, don't trust in America, man. Don't trust in Britain. Don't trust in the government. Don't trust in none of this stuff, man. Because it's that trust here that they're gonna abuse. Trust in the Lord, man. Don't trust in these people, man, because they're not for us, man.
That's right.
Don't care what they say. You are just when you understand here that to these Edomites, you're a human resource. They don't care whether you live or die.
And they treat you like human resource, man. You know it's true.
No, they
man,
care. They care.
They don't care when they cut off this or cut off that. Because they're fine. It doesn't ever affect them. Ever. It doesn't ever affect them, man. But it affects you and they don't care.
Yeah.
They won't tax they won't tax the super wealthy or nothing like that. But they'll quite happy to take away things from the poor. Oh yeah, they're benefit cheats. And all these types of things. They're evading tax away. They always aim for you.
Yeah.
Well, as down bad as the UK is, which listen, the UK is down bad. I've never seen. That's why I don't watch. A lot of those numbers that they give you are all manipulated.
Yeah.
The CPI and all that. Listen, I don't watch all that CPI and all that crap. Yeah, I look with my eyes and see what the reality is around me, and I talk to people and I talk to different people to see where they at. And I'm telling you right now, yeah, that the majority of people are hurting in the UK. From the middle class on down, it's only getting worse. It's not getting no better. Yeah, okay, you might find one guy that won the lottery and he's doing better. There's always going to be, but I'm talking in general, the food banks are crazy. I've never seen food bank. There's more food banks than ever and more people in the food bank line. There's more crackheads than ever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of working homeless. The people that are actually full-time 35 hours employed.
It wasn't like that before. It's getting worse, man. It's harder for people to buy houses. It's harder for people to get public housing. It used to be that all you man had to do, we knew the game, blood. You just bang your girl, she got pregnant, yeah, and then she got a flat, yeah, and then you just skeet in there, and that's how most men.
Uncles,
bro, that's how it works. As soon as a girl got pregnant, she got a flat. That's how the game works.
Yeah.
Or you know them ones like your uncle. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Your uncle comes, they stay with you for a while, then you write a letter to the council saying, listen, he can't live with me no more. I'm tired. The same thing with, we know the game. If you had a son, the game was write a letter to the council and say he can't live here no more. I don't want him in the house. He's this, he's that, boom, 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 boom. It's all lies. I'm just telling you what the game was. And then the council be like, okay, cool. Then they put you up in, they either give you a flat straight away, or they'll put you up in the YMCA, 2-3 years, you get yourself a flat somewhere, and you got a council place. Am I lying?
Yeah, that's okay.
But now it's just a housing crisis. Yeah. And then the immigration, they just bring in bare people. Yeah. There's no way to put them. So now it's like, you can't get it.
If you want public housing, you need to leave London.
Yeah.
But if you leave London, that's a whole different thing, because most of the economy is in London.
And they're conveniently now taking away a lot of the remote jobs. So it's like, yeah, you can leave, but you're gonna have to commute back in at least for a couple of days.
And all these men that's got money, what did they do? Just buy up all the public housing, buy up everything, right? And then now they're renting it back out to people at extortionate prices, and making the money off the Klarna and all the high credit stuff that people have to live on.
It's evil. I mean, like you could not like you got in London, you're paying like 1,100 for a room or some shit like that. That's wow. Esau's taking the piss, man. You know.
Go on, when you finish that, go back to 1 Peter as well.
And it says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
Right? Don't your confusion, because people are gonna be left like, what's going on? I thought they were taking care of all this. I thought, nah, man. The plan is to destroy you, to get you to bring you down to your knees, so you beg them for life and safety.
Yeah.
They hold this chip. That is the plan. That is what they want to do across the board. They want everybody weakened and begging for something new. We know that, but we ain't gonna be begging them for something new. We already know what the new thing is that is in store for us, and that's the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
So we're not worried about it. Like, they man can do what they want. We know Revelations 12 and 12 that they're gonna come down in great fury, knowing they have a short time. So you're gonna see things happening in the world, like, and it's all gonna lead towards pain on all sides.
Can I read this quick? It's from Genesis 47, verse 18. When that year was ended, they came unto the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord how that our money is spent. My Lord also have our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thy eyes? So in this moment in time, you know, these people are begging Pharaoh to basically look after them, to take care of them. You know, don't let us die. Right? And that's how these people are going to be behaving. We ain't got nothing, but we need taken care of.
There's been a crisis, and there's
You know?
always going to be a way to blame it on someone else. Oh no, but it was China's fault, and so they can get you to think.
Yeah, sure.
See, like I said, they're always going to be looking to blame it on someone else. And that's another thing that's going to happen. It's the immigrants that get blamed for it, the xenophobia. That's already happening.
Oh,
They're already making it look like, yeah, the reason why Britain is the way it is because of the immigration. And the same thing's going to happen in America. You know who the number one scapegoat people is in America that they're going to put forward as the problems for why America is in the way it is? Negroes. It's them. The bunch of murderers and thieves. You know what I'm saying? They don't work. They're lazy. You know, they're fighting in the damn Applebee's and all this shit. Yeah, it's them. It's they're the problems. And these damn illegal immigrants, we need to sort them out. And that's already happening. The reason why the Western world is following is because it's not white. We need white power, you know?
This is London.
All over Twitter, they're blaming it on. They blame it. There's always going to be somebody to blame, and that's on purpose.
And like I said, Jay don't make it easy for themselves either, man. Jay just be acting degenerate as hell
On camera.
on camera. It was even just, I said, I was at the bike shop earlier on, and then the guy Jay's just testing out the bike, but he's riding at full speed in the damn store, man. And it's just like, even the boss man's like, yo, what you do?
Yeah. The university was like,
Yeah, but you know that's why World Star Hip Hop and stuff like that was set up.
Uh-huh.
You know, who do you think? Why do you think all that is set up to showcase the worst of you? And then these men on the Twitter can see, oh, see, look, the usual suspects. They don't got nothing like that showcasing the worst of the Edomites. Where's the Edomite World Star Hip Hop? You ever notice that?
We see them do dumb shit
They do dumb shit all the time.
It's a football game.
Yeah, but they're gonna have a website specifically for that. And then they actually created the UK version of World Star Hip Hop.
Right.
oh, yeah.
What was it called again? Exactly. But where's the so-called white version of? Because they're always doing madness. Yeah? Because it's all done by design, man. To demonize.
So wherefore shall we die before thy eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So these times of trouble, these times of evil are going to come. They're going to prevail over the people. And they're going to forget about left, right paradigm and shit, man. They're just going to want an answer to the problem.
And
they don't accept
and magically they have it prepared.
They have it.
They have it prepared, right? Ain't that funny?
They've been working on it, right? Because we've been keeping up to date with what they've been working on. Unlike these other camps, they don't keep up to date with what the man are working on. The CBDCs.
Which Trump signed an executive order saying there ain't gonna be one. You moron! If he signed an executive order to say there's not gonna be a CBDC, that means he can sign an executive order to say there is one. Fucking, it's like, bro, you can't make this up.
What can be done can be undone.
What can we do? With a stroke of a pen. These people, man.
Because in the time of emergency and crisis, man, I'm no choice, right? So man could just say, well, I did say that. I did say
But
that.
isn't that what executive orders for?
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Well, in mainland Europe, they've passed a law now where basically, and this whole Ukraine situation, where all these countries are raising up their war budget to two.
No, do you want some?
Yeah, what's that? First.
where all these countries are raising up their war budget, the governments of these European countries are authorized now to go into your account and take at least 10% and basically to fund the war effort, but it's been slid under the radar.
So I wasn't fully listening, but you,
Yeah.
but like, you reminded me, it's like the UK government was talking about taking your savings.
Yeah, HMRC. So HMRC as well. So if you owe more than £1,000 and you got £5 in your bank account, HMRC can just withdraw the money from your bank account. Where back in the day, they had to serve you papers for court. You have to come and give them the account details. Then they have to serve you another paper to take money out. Now they can just go to your bank and just say, "Yo, what's the account
I
details?"
think they came with something similar just now with America as well, some payment system where they no longer use checks and cash, it's all electronic and all that. Yeah, look, man, they're preparing for it. They're preparing for every part of it, including the part that with the killing of the people. Like they said, the ICE thing, was all about grabbing up people to deport them. But when you check the deportation numbers, they haven't increased, so they haven't really been deporting people. So why did they build up that infrastructure? Because it's not really for people to deport. It's for when they know all hell breaks loose. They already have a system there to grab people up.
There's just excuses for them to exist. You know.
But Trump, he wouldn't do that. He's a messiah. And he's a good God-fearing Christian man. Even though he told him, I'm not a Christian. I don't know, man.
But they were sorting out the CBDC, the blockchains, and the RFID technology, the UBI, Universal Basic Income. They're doing all of this, man. But when it's moment when you can't do nothing, that's not their answer. They got it ready for you to hand on the plate to you.
The man's telling you he's bringing back the jobs to America, but then his brethren already told you, Musk, that bro, the guy's gonna take all the jobs and they're gonna have to give you UBI. So how does both those things occur at the same time? And people don't even think, because this is the thing.
And he's working on Neuralink.
The system doesn't allow you to make connections. So they could say something one day, right? And then you forget about it because so much has happened and so much distraction that you forget what they were talking about. You don't put two and two together and see that it don't make no sense. That which one is it then? Are you going to bring back jobs for everybody that's high paying?
Great job.
Or you're going to have to be giving people UBI? Which one is it? It's got to be one or the other, right?
Whatever it is, the American people will be taken care of.
You're going to be so rich.
That you can be sure of.
The message, you're going to be so rich, you won't know what to do with the money. And these niggas eat that shit up. Yeah, man, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Trump.
When does that ever happen? How can it, first of all, if everybody's rich, then nobody's rich? You fucking morons.
That's like even
If everybody's rich, then nobody's rich. Money is relative. If everybody in the world had £1 million, nobody would be rich.
Right.
You can only have rich if you have poor people. You have to have people with more and people with less. The problem is the gap between the rich and the poor, and which he just increased. He had a big hand in increasing when he handed out all that COVID money that went to his elite friends. He handed them. That's what they get. Whenever they do that QE, it just gives bare money to all the rich, and then use it to buy up all the assets. They got nothing but disdain for you American people, man. You don't even think. Yeah.
Well, it's just to say the rich are more the poor.
Scott Bessent said, yeah, well, the America's always been run for Wall Street. Now we're going to run it for you. Now we're going to run it for Main Street. And them men are like, yeah, and it's like, bro, how? So all of a sudden, the rich people in America, they're cool with, oh yeah, I forgot. Because Trump is fighting against them. They tried to kill him. And people don't even think, like, hold on. So you're telling me that they wanted to assassinate him. And they've got poisoning. They got heart attack guns. You got elite level assassins that you could pay money to take a man out, yeah. But they got some retard who missed him with a fucking rifle that aimed for the head and not the chest. And people actually believe. That's a bad movie. If I was watching a movie and I saw that in a movie, I'd be like, that don't make no sense. How could the richest, most powerful people fail at killing this man when they have all kind of DARPA weapons? They got bullets that can curve. You know what I'm saying? They got bullets that can actually curve, that don't miss their target.
Got satellites that can shoot lasers, whatever.
They literally have heart attack guns. This guy's 80 something.
They don't want it to be known that it was them that did it. That's what they had to say.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know. If man hit man with a heart attack gun, he wouldn't know who did it. He just had a heart attack. But people believe that all that bullshit. No, man, they're never gonna switch it up and be for the American people, man. America was never for the people in the first place. And it ain't gonna start tomorrow.
This is Second Peter's 1, from verse 20, knowing this verse that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but holy men of Yahweh spake as they were moved by the Holy Spirit.
The Bible said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So that means the earth is in their hand. When you go to Micah 2:1, what does it say in Micah? In fact, before we get that, you didn't finish First Peter's. Finish First Peter's and someone hold Micah 2:1. Well, you understand the scriptures. You know there are no good guys. That's why I keep telling people, man. They try and frame everything about good versus bad, man. There are no good guys. They're all bad guys working together to destroy you. That's all it is. But you need to believe there's a good guy, because if you really understood the reality here, a lot of men would just jump off a bridge because they know there ain't no hope for them. Because they'll feel the hopelessness of like, well, what can I do about it? Well, really, there ain't nothing you could do about it. Like, these men are running the show, and they're gonna be running the show until Yahweh Shai comes, and then he's gonna be running the show.
Mhm.
So right now, if they wanna drop the stock market, there ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. If they wanna pump the stock market, if they wanna pump the bond market, do this, do that, like they have control over all these things. Because they own it and they designed it.
Their system.
They talk about China, the rise of China. They made China rise. They went over and opened up China to the world. It's their elites that made China what it is today.
Their corporations in China.
What are we doing here? Some dude in a rice field just decided to do all this and it was cool. They did it. They were communists. Where does communism come from? Where did communism come from? It came from the Bolsheviks. Where did the Bolsheviks come from? New York. Come on, man. Let's go, bro.
I was reading Second Peter.
Yeah, was it first Peter or second Peter? Was reading from the beginning.
Second Peter.
Okay, read that bit because I didn't finish that.
One second. It says Second Peter 1:19. It says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your heart. And it says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. For the prophecy came not in old time by the will of man, but by holy men of Yahweh, but holy men of Yahweh, by Hashem and Hawashai, spoke as they were moved by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why you got to go by the word and not by what these men are telling you. So we know that the end of all this thing ain't no rise of China and all this stuff. Like, we don't go that far. You got people that are like, yeah, because China's going to, listen, bro, China ain't taking over nothing. But America's not going to prevail and boost themselves for the rest of the earth. Anyway, what's going to happen is they're both going to catch hell. And then there's going to be a war. And then there's going to be Yahweh Shai. And then everyone's going to go where they belong, which is into slavery. That's what's going to happen. That's the part they can't break down on YouTube for you. Oh, yeah.
Well, they believe the house should continue forever, man. Yeah. There's always going to be Edomite rulership or something.
Yeah.
This world is not going to be that normal, man.
Second Ezra 6:7. Then he answered high and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or where shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows?
This is what we're looking for. We're looking for the beginning of the next. You know, we're looking at the end for the end of this one, and we see it. Everything that's happening is happening according to the word of Yahweh Yahweh Shai, man. So we're at the end.
Yep. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the hand of the word.
Esau was gonna be the one that would possess the end of the world, and we've seen that. You know, this Roman Empire, this empire right here is Esau. Esau's the one pulling the strings in the world, from the east to the west. Even in the east, Esau is pulling the strings over there. Esau is pulling the strings over there. Esau's pulling the strings on these global markets.
Manipulate world events.
Manipulating world events. They've been doing that because the scripture tells you, Micah 2:1. They think evil, and then when they wake, they do it because it's in the power of their hand.
It's like you mentioned earlier, China would never be the power that it is if it wasn't for America doing what it was doing. But they were set up, China was set up to be this thing that it is now.
Trump will tell you, well, you know, because I sat here and the person who was the president before me just allowed it to happen. Allow it to happen. It was part of the plan. It was done on purpose. And that's where most people get everything wrong. They always see things as being like this coincidence or some accident. oh, the education system doesn't work. It's incompetence. Not really. The reason it doesn't work is because it's not meant to work. The medical industry operates the way they want it to operate.
They create.
But then they have scapegoats that they go, oh, well, because of the internet. No, but that's how they want it to be. It's like that for a reason, for a purpose. The scripture tells you that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. They know exactly what they're doing.
And this is why Egypt earned every word. It's all supposed to come to pass in this manner.
This oops business. Oh, oops, I didn't know that was going to happen. Of course they knew. You know, but they want it to be like that.
Because they have to destroy this world that's currently here for them to create their new world, right?
And that's where they're going wrong, because they think that they're going to be able to establish something greater and everlasting. When really all they're doing is fucking up what they already had.
Bringing close to the
And
end.
then the Lord is going to come in and just finish it off. And then they go, wherever they are hiding around, the Lord's going to come and collect them. And they're going, and they don't. And another thing is, they're going to be shocked that, oh, wait, how do they even know who we are? Because I keep telling people that really pull the strings, you don't see them. You don't see them. The man them that's really pulling the strings, they don't go on TV. They're not reality TV type people, man. Like Trump was on WWE and you're fired and all that stuff. He's a TV personality. Yeah, that's for you. The real man that's, yeah, this is what needs to be done. They don't come on the TV and start running their mouth, like, because then that puts them in a situation where they could be culpable.
Yeah.
That puts them in a situation where people know who to go after and who to get. No, they have their agents that they use, like, you know, what's his name? Musk and all these guys and all these different faces that they use.
Yeah.
But there's a power behind them
Yeah.
that put them in the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
And then they get you believing in these people so that if they want, they could just crash and burn that person and switch someone else in there, and then everything's fine.
This is Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows and their arrows, even their bitter words.
Yeah, these men stay away from anything controversial.
Yeah.
You won't really see them.
Like Klaus Schwab, everyone talks about him. He's just retired from his thing, but it wasn't about him. This thing goes. That guy, man, he's the best. Isn't he? He's the best. The frightening scenario of a full-scale cyber attack. And who do you think would be doing that?
Man with the power to do it.
He sounds like a villain.
No, it's a random hacker somewhere in Kazakhstan or something.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Bitcoin was created by some random dude somewhere that nobody knows. Yeah.
Man got have mad computing power.
And now the government's buying into an asset that they don't even know who made it. Who's got a wallet full of it that if that ever moves, it's peak. If that wallet ever moves, like oh shit, like Satoshi's wallet moves to an exchange.
Yeah.
Just on that day alone, everyone's dumping.
I've got to look at the geometry on that name, bro.
Yeah, go on, man.
It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
What's a snare? A snare is
It's a
something
trap.
that's hidden. It's a trap. So they set you up. So that's how they do things. They sell something to you and they make you think it's for this, right? But actually it's for that. And then you get caught. They'll never sell something to you for the actual reasons that they're giving it to you.
Yeah.
Just look at feminism. Did they tell people, man that bought into feminism, did they tell them the truth of what their actual plan is for what feminism will do? Destroy it? No, they didn't tell them the truth. They had to have certain man agents out there pushing it a certain way, making it sound a certain way.
Which that's part of that wine.
That line.
You know what I mean? Because I like at first it seems sweet, nice, but really his plan is to make you go forth and stumble.
Anytime you got a con man, the way a con man operates is the con man
Confidence.
gains your confidence, and also he has to misdirect you to his true motivations. He has to make you think this is my motivations, when actually his motivations is this. Once you know a con man's true motivations, they can never fool you because you know what they want. You know where they're going. So they can't misdirect you and get you over there and get you off the square.
You know his endpoint.
And that's what these men are very good at. They're very good at misdirecting you and making you think this is what they want, when actually no, this is what they want. And they get you. It's a trap. It's a
We know what Esau wants. You know what these elites want.
That's right. Blessing.
They want, exactly.
Yeah.
They want everything.
They want
They
everything.
want everything. They want to own everyone's shit. Like they don't believe in everyone having stuff. That's the end goal. The end goal isn't everyone sharing, running around with you know, like Barney. You know, man. I love you. You love me. They don't believe in all that stuff.
It's true. Yeah.
They want it all to themselves, man. They don't believe in the inheritances of the nations.
They want everything.
Good.
It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
They've searched out one of the main things that they've done well with is group psychology. The art of psychological operation, the art of being able to manipulate groups of people with agents and subtle inputs of information. And now they've got AI and social media, it's even gone to a new level. They can pump out certain videos from a certain perspective, and they already know how many people are going to adopt that view and how they're going to react and what they're going to do based upon that.
Deep fakes now. They can just manufacture anything they want.
They know how to manipulate. Well, look at the so-called black man. The so-called black man is been under the most psychological operation. Tupac wasn't even a real individual. He was a fabricated character. His whole career and his whole life was fabricated. And a lot of men can't even wake up to that yet. They think that dude was real. They think that all the beef and all that shit that they were having was real. It wasn't real. It was all a psychological operation, the Black Messiah programming that messed up the so-called black man.
Yeah.
And he ain't the only
Yeah,
one.
you see, first
It was in the Belay.
he sound like a
It was
sweet-
an industry plant, one of the original
Fucking
industry
strawberry
plants,
ice
man.
I was a legit ballerina.
Yeah.
Belay school and all of
They
that.
know how to do psychological operations. They know how to.
So this dance as well.
Just
saying.
even I think with that actor / sports guy, Michael Jai White. If you see on Vlad, he's talking about Tupac.
When he met him,
Yeah, he met him even before, a couple months before he was the super thug.
Thug
And then he was like, bruv, like the Tupac you guys know who I met. He was a quiet kid,
Yeah.
shy kid.
When people find out, man, how much of American history is fake,
Yeah,
fake court cases,
yeah.
how much of it is just a psychological operation for you to watch on that TV and affect your brain and the way you think and the way you operate.
It's what the enchantment.
It's enchantments,
Witchcraft.
They put these programs for a reason,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
you know, and people don't. Oh no, but how could they do that? You know, that would mean the judge will have to be in.
Yeah.
They got. Oh,
Everyone's into
they've
it.
got lots of people that are signed up, man.
Yeah, it's really a big club.
But you know, like I said,
They
man,
said the human reports in the heart is deep.
Yeah.
It's deep. Like you don't want to believe it. It's deep
bro,
though.
they've done the research on how
It's
to
all fake.
manipulate people's minds,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean? How to get people, and they're good at it. They're very good at it. They're good at. Even if you look at what they'll do is they'll get someone, turn him into a clown and a crazy character, then have that person say certain truths.
Yeah.
Why do you think they do that? So then now you discredit what this guy has to say anyway because he's been acting like a clown.
Then
Well, Kanye is a
West,
perfect
then
example.
anybody
of
else that comes out with it, no,
Yeah.
he's just saying.
that. Yeah, you're just like Kanye.
Kanye West is the perfect.
Andrew Tate is another example of that.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate, right, says a lot of things that we will say, but then he also does a lot of bullshit. So then now we get grouped with this agent who's now into Islam and all this thing, like, and people think he's actually a Muslim. This is what I'm saying. No, he's CIA. He even come out and tell you his dad's CIA.
Yeah.
But people believe all that court case he's having in Romania. They think that's real. None of that was real.
If
If it was real, if the super elite really didn't like Andrew Tate and wanted to put him in jail, do you think he would not be in jail? He'd be in jail and you'd never hear about him again. The algorithm would wipe him off the internet. You'd never see or hear from him again. You'd move on to someone else. He wouldn't be on Piers Morgan. He wouldn't be on anything.
And
God.
bear in mind, yeah, when you go on a show like Piers Morgan, you get paid to go on there.
Yeah.
Why are you paying a man that needs to be cancelled or he's supposed to be
No,
cancelled?
but the elite of the elite, the Matrix wants to get him, but they just can't get him.
Because he's an
Double
alpha
seven.
male. He's an alpha male.
with, like,
So they can't.
bare
He's too fast. He got a Bugatti.
You know,
You know?
they've got rid of other people. But yeah, he got a Bugatti. Like, where do you think all that money comes from? It's all CIA seed money to build a character. They could do that. They could make someone rich.
Yeah.
All you got to look at the hip hop industry.
Yeah.
They can make someone into a character to push it out to you to frame that character however they want.
Well, that whore, man. Sexy Red.
Yeah,
Like, it's clear she's the agent.
fucking
Like,
agent,
it's
man.
clear. Like now she's got like a line of lip gloss that's called like HIV. Fucking
And they don't even. And now
gonorrhea.
they know the people are so
She's got
dumb.
lip balm.
But they know the people are so dumb, right? That
Yeah.
she don't even sell shows
Yeah,
and she don't even sell records.
Yeah.
So why is she relevant?
Yeah.
Because now they don't even need to do all that, man. You see what I'm saying? But you know, people are gonna figure it out one day. They're gonna wake up to how much lies. When the scripture tells you that America's filled with lies, people don't realize. It's absolutely a show that they show you, and Hollywood is the whole thing is Hollywood. The whole thing is Hollywood, man. They're all actors.
Yeah.
The Will Smith slap and all that shit. People believe that. Go for it.
Okay, gonna grab that precept. You mentioned this is Nahum 3 from the top. It says, "Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies."
Full of lies, right?
This is
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's full of lies. It's not a joke, man.
They got crisis actors, so they do events and it's a crisis actor. You know, things just happen so coincidentally, like all them airplanes that fell out the sky at the same time. Then after that, you don't see no more airplanes really. Then it came this helicopter with the CEO on there.
Like, not to make it sound squeaky, but man actually live in the Matrix. Like, you actually do live in the Matrix.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything is fabricated, right? None of it's really real.
You know, a lot of it. Remember, they got MK Ultra mind control. People forget about all that.
Yeah.
They got people that they can mind control to go do this and do that, and then anyway, let's carry on. This was the devil, man. But the point of the matter is, they've searched out these things, how to manipulate people with witchcraft and gematria. That's why a lot of these events happen on certain dates, and all these because they use witchcraft when they're planning these things to get power, like the presidential inauguration. We told you that when Trump got inaugurated, oh, it's too cold, so that's why we did it in the underneath the rotunda. No, it's a special inauguration because they know that Trump is he told you himself, I am the chosen one. But he's not chosen for what you think he's chosen for. He's chosen to push the agenda of the elites forward. And that's what he's done since he got into office.
God saved his life when he spared him from the
Yeah, all that bullshit. And they was a big witchcraft ceremony, and they did it underneath the rotunda with all the Roman and Greek gods there. And then obviously all the other witches and warlocks turned up, like Obama and them, which apparently they all hate him. Apparently, if Trump got elected, he was going to destroy America. So why are you turning up to the inauguration? Would you? If you thought this guy was a madman and he's going to just destroy America, you would not turn up in protest.
It's like all these characters, they're the Antichrist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You be all kinds of stuff going on, bro. Like trying to kill him, bro. You know what I mean? What's going on?
They knew, okay, like, listen, we need to go and hail him because he's the next one that's been selected, chosen to do the job of High Witch in America.
Man, ain't seen Assassin's Creed, bro. Like, there's plenty of ways that gets a man. You know what I mean? You know, it's in the bomb rock.
And to this day, Hillary Clinton ain't been indicted. All this fraud they found, nobody's been arrested for it. There's been no clawbacks. The Epstein list ain't out properly. They're not, man, it's all lies, man.
I never forget that. When they came out the door,
Yeah.
they hold them to
Everyone's
the
forgot
camera.
about that now, innit? Drain the swamp and all that
horrendous.
shit.
That was the worst.
Fuck out of here. Listen, they tell you that this is the ultimate truth that you're gonna understand. There is no deep state. There's only the state. Once you understand that, yeah, that's my saying. Yeah, I copyrighted that. There is no deep state. There's only the state. And once you understand there's only the state, then you realize how it works.
Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Yeah, so they deal with, they're guided by witchcraft when they do certain events. You know, they have witches and warlocks that set it up. It's not just what people show you. And Trump ain't going to tell you nothing about that. He's not going to tell you about the seances and the witches and the warlocks that work behind the scenes
to bless them when they should do something, when they shouldn't do something. Because they're not going to tell you all that. So all these things, this diligent search is what they've done into the technology. They had to spend a lot of time and money to develop all the technology that's going to bring in the MOTV system. And it was done by design on purpose. It's not accident that all these technologies came together. They knew what they wanted to achieve, and they went out there and they spent the money and developed it, and then they've got the whole world to adopt it. The whole world is adopting RFID. Bro, the East here is even more developed towards the MOTV than the West.
Bro, well, I'm telling you, I would say someone like back home, so-called in Ghana, them guys are ready for the chip.
Yeah.
Because, like, you can go, like, even people that's up in age don't even use money anymore, like in cash.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone's got like an app.
Yeah.
You're on the app,
Yeah.
where they send money through apps, and it's just exclusively that all the time.
I forgot we touched on it in a video that we did one time. There's a term for that because basically, sort of like how in places in Africa the mobile system is better than certain places here because they skip landline.
Yeah,
If
they
that
went
makes
straight
sense.
to it. Yeah,
They went straight to it.
Basically,
yeah.
like
But
if I have your
it's
number,
so far
I send you
behind.
money.
Yeah.
Like we've got 5G now. Like you don't need to bother with 3G.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
just
yeah,
go straight
yeah.
to 5 or 6G or
Five,
something
exactly.
like that. You know what I mean?
So they never built like the cables and stuff because when they had the funds, it was like, well, why are we doing it that
What type of phones are they using in Ghana?
They just use like
The mass produced, China.
from China, especially.
So it's almost like
Yeah.
that stuff is all necessary.
Back home, yeah, this app is your life. You know what happened? You know what happened? I think it was a couple months ago. The president of Ghana did like a temporary ban on this app for a couple of months, and bare people couldn't send money or exchange money for weeks. So people was losing it. Like, son, I haven't got money. Can you blah blah blah? But this app back home is like,
That's why they're gonna bring that
Yeah.
kind of stuff to America with the super app,
yeah,
the super apps, man, that are coming to America too. But they already had that in the East.
yeah.
Alipay, was it Alipay and all
Yeah,
them things there?
And
WeChat.
WeChat.
and people back home like trust this app more than actual money and cash. Like, you know what I mean? If you go to
Well-
certain stores and vendors, they only accept this app. And
Which
you be
not
pinging
to
them-
cut you,
pinging
but
them.
again, the elite set up the agenda. It's called banking the unbanked.
Yes.
Because
That's basically it. Yeah.
the old way of banking
It's-
and commerce didn't allow for everyone to be able to access money and banking in the same way. So that's why they said, listen, we're going to bring in these new digital forms of systems to bank the unbanked so that all people can be able to be brought into that system. And that includes digital ID and all these different things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I just experienced that at the bloody because remember we were talking about the digital driver's license,
Yeah.
where it's just like you'll be able to then instead of at the self-service machines, you'll be able to just like use your digital driving license to basically approve your age. Like I saw some guy, he's just there waiting to pay for his beers for ages. No one's coming to help him. And it's like, yeah, of course, because then you have the digital ID now.
Yeah.
What we need
Well,
to-
again, back to the job situation, no jobs for people.
Yeah.
Machines. So
Yeah,
the machine can't.
yeah.
You have to prove to the machine that you can be verified.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to come and check it for you.
Yeah.
So you better have the correct,
Self-checkout.
the correct credentials and the correct apps or whatever you need to get through.
access.
Yeah. And if you notice, like all those things, remember we said from the very beginning that even with the chip, you're going to have other devices that have to double check. So even if you got the chip, the biometrics, so notice that most of these self-payments always come with cameras now, facial. So they, even if you tap your chip, they can check your chip and make sure that your facial recognition matches what's on the chip too. But anyway, keep going with these precepts, man. This is all happened by design. This is not accidental. You know?
Yeah.
This is the book of Psalms 59 and 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names.
So they're trying to really establish themselves an everlasting kingdom, man. And that's why they're doing all the things that they're doing now, because they're telling you that the system as it is unsustainable. And even when all this thing came out, you watch closely the buzzwords. I took a picture of Starmer talking. Was it Starmer? One of them guys on BBC News, and one of the little headline things at the bottom was trade a new era, new world order in trade is emerging and all this shit. So they're already telling you that everything that you see happening, this disruption and these problems, is all leading towards a new world order.
And that's what all these G20s are about. Davos is all about.
Yeah,
all
World
these
Economic
big boy,
Forum.
all these big boy conversations is about all this new order they're setting up. You know, but apparently it's not benefiting anybody else. Everybody else is hurting right now. Every year it's getting worse. But they got big plans, man.
He's talking about G20 and that. It's Psalm 64 from 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Yeah. It says from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
And that's why it calls it a secret council, because it's not known to everybody. It's not Trump's job to come out and tell you what they're planning. His job is to sell and do the theater for whatever it is, so that you see that and then you're like caught into that. So that's what the politicians do. Their job is there to sell shit and to do the theater. They're not gonna come out and tell you, well, actually, really, we want all of you people to have nothing and trip you up, and if we feel like feeding you that day, we'll feed you. If not, we'll just switch your chip off and then that's it.
It's not just what you were saying. I remember doing the videos, first strike I got, but it was on that notion, because he's going to say, if you take the MOTB, I'll feed you. He just might want to take the MOTB. And that's...
This guy's a lie. He don't need to keep these words.
Exactly.
He doesn't ever keep these words.
Yeah, because if they're in the AI governance and in the technocracy, if you're surplus to requirements, you're surplus to requirements. But remember,
He'd be like, oh yeah, you need to go fight in the war then.
Yeah.
They'll come back.
remember,
You know?
remember say your presence is not sustainable to the whole. So you just need to disappear.
You know?
Don't worry, we'll recycle your body
So
and
you
you'll
said-
grow some plants.
Say it's Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what it is, man. AI and all that stuff. The governments, all stats. It's just like scientific racism. We were the first camp to tell you, yeah, they're gonna bring that back. And then as you see more and more, they're pushing the idea of statistics and race and genetics, and maybe these black people, the problem with them isn't cultural, maybe it's genetics. You know, the science is there. Trust the science, man.
Yeah.
We told you they're gonna do all that
Mhm.
because that never went away.
It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
You had Trump today did a tweet, and he was talking about South Africa and how he ain't gonna go to South Africa while there's land grabbing going on. And I'm like, wow, how hypocritical could man be? Man literally said he's gonna take Gaza. It's not even nowhere near America, man.
Gaza, Greenland.
Man stealing land in Greenland, and but he's saying, like, because over there the government in South Africa takes land from the farmers, and redistributes it to these corporations, rich, right? But he's talking about, and there's a white genocide happening of the white farmers, and then when you look it up, right, about what was it? It said about 50 farmers that die a year or something like that, yeah. But if you look at it as the murder rate of South Africa in general, it's not like and then some of their murders is not even robbers killing them, because it's really robbers, because they're very vulnerable. They're out there in the rural area, go rob them when they get paid, and because they know they have money there. Sometimes it's family members killing them and then and then they've been caught doing that. That's happened a lot, where the wife will kill everyone in the family and then tell man it was some niggas that broke in, and they find out it was her.
Yeah.
But that's not a genocide.
Yeah.
How is that a genocide?
Them white South Africans, I'm from near there, man.
Yeah,
They're
cool.
living good.
Yeah, they're
They're
been stuff in
living
there, man. They're partying, but they want it to be framed as a white genocide, because why? The idea of the Edomite victim, the Edomite being oppressed, is part of the system that they're bringing in. Yeah, we're the oppressed ones. We're the white genocide, we're the victims.
Which is a fucking lie.
This is a lie,
It's
but-
amazing.
But that's gonna be the excuses that they.
but there you go. Then that's gonna give them.
They're gonna come in and do hard things to these
Yeah.
men just to kind of balance things out.
like his level of a victim mentality, despite being a mass murderer, is sensational. Like this has to be
It has
studied.
to be studied.
It has to be studied. Bro, you brought nothing but violence.
Man
and
said
murder.
50 man a
But
year.
bro, but
It's
the thing is,
genocide.
Esau has always been the
That's
victim.
Cain, though.
This is what I'm saying.
That's Cain.
That spirit is with Esau, right? So he's
Yeah.
always been the victim, no matter what he's done.
Yeah, it
he's
don't
always
matter.
the victim.
Yeah,
You don't want it.
He's done the wrong,
Yeah.
but he's the victim.
like even
But
if
at
you
least the J double O said 6 million.
got-
It's a genocide. Like, how many people died?
But every time you get revised.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really the spirit of Cain. Because remember, like in that story, after he slew his brother, he said, "What are you saying that I'm my brother's kid? I'm responsible." Right? He actually had the nerve to ask that question, which that spirit is in all these Edomites.
Yeah, they're
No accountability whatsoever.
Yeah,
None.
and he has to, because guess what, man?
Walsh.
Matt
Yeah, Matt Walsh.
Yeah,
And he's riding. You know what else they're riding to the cows come home?
Right.
And anytime you see something of one particular event happen, and they ride it, you have to start looking at that event. Like, okay, what's happened here?
Yeah.
Because this event that happened with the white boy that got stabbed up by the black boy. Right? So what?
Niggas die every
Niggas
day,
die
dude.
every day. Why have they specifically choose this particular thing to now we need to talk about it over and over, and the agents just keep talking about it over and over and over and over again? You have to start looking at that event sideways. Like, okay, like, what? Why?
Why is it getting played?
I'm sure white boys get shot and killed by niggas every day. Niggas get shot every day. Like, why is this one particular thing have to be such a thing that now everyone has to talk about it? If the man's guilty, they're gonna go to court. He's gonna be tried like everybody else. And if it was self-defense, he'll bust case. And if it's not self-defense, which doesn't look like it, then he'll go to jail. So what are we talking about then? Do they talk about all the cases in America like this all the time? What? No, it's specifically because they want to use that to stem that, fuel that flipping racial tensions, man.
He's gonna get off there, isn't he?
And he's gonna be like, see, you know, we're the victims, man. It's black people kill us all the time. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yo, my nigga, man. Chill, man. Niggas get shot every day.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like two people in a boxing match, and you have a guy getting beat up for 12 rounds, and this nigga lands one punch, and he's like, "Oh,
it's basically it's a George Floyd thing, but
Yeah.
reverse. They're gonna run. They're gonna start running things like that now,
Yeah.
and get the white boys angry, innit?
Yeah.
Well, and they're gonna do the same. They've been doing the same thing here in the UK. They're gonna
Yeah.
have instances like that, like the one with that
Oh, yeah.
crazy dude that stabbed up them kids. Like,
Yeah.
sure.
that was such, yeah."
And he was gonna do a school shooting allegedly.
Oh yeah, the other
Nah,
one that
we're
did.
talking about
Oh, there's two.
Remember
The
that one?
other one, the
in,
crazy looking
in
one when
Port-
they released the
Oh,
picture of
him, yeah.
alien, like, I didn't believe none of that. I didn't believe any of that. But you know, people will say I'm crazy, but I don't believe it.
one, yeah,
It didn't make no sense.
same dude, Doctor Who. Come on, man. That was terrible.
The book of Isaiah, 32 and 7:6. For the vile person will speak barren, and his heart will
Yeah.
work iniquity to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the souls of the hungry, and we will cause the drink of the thirst to fail.
That's it. That's all they're gonna do. You know, that's all this devil knows how to do, man. You know, and they'll show you some stupid statistics and man try to make it look like everyone's lives better when they're not. Man that was struggling to pay their mortgage last month is still struggling.
Yeah.
So,
Gonna be struggling even more.
they're gonna show, oh, yeah, the mortgage rates are going up and all that stuff. Yeah, good luck to them.
There's what was that book that they said was on Bill's tables that line with statistics, and if you've ever worked anywhere near or adjacent to a marketing department, you can see this man will use statistics that don't really mean what they're saying it means, but then will make it seem like that this product, like for instance women's hair care or like beauty care is a perfect example. Will be like 82% of women say it's great, but they ask like 100 women. But they're making it seem like everyone is actually genuinely with this particular thing, right?
Yeah, it's like I was trying to explain, like if you cut taxes for the rich, yeah, even if you cut taxes for the poor, but relatively the rich benefited more than the poor end up worse off because the wealth gap has increased,
Yeah.
which means they get out competed by the rich, which means the standard of living goes down. And that's one of the things that they got this one agent, Gary, that's bringing it out a lot. Because he's a plant, like,
Yeah,
but what he's saying is actually true. That's the reality.
Yeah.
The wealth gap reduces the standard of living for the poor. So even if you give the poor, give them all £100 each, if you've given the elites like 100 million, they're going to be worse off in the long run because they are now out, even more out, keep competing on for resources like horses horses, houses and things like that, which the rich just buy up. Half of the houses in London are empty sometimes.
Yeah.
There's bare places in London there that the Chinese
Especially
and the
them
rich
big
and all them,
mansions.
they've just bought up houses as just assets,
Assets,
yeah,
yeah.
and just leave them lying around.
Like, even back in the day, I used to do like a Royal Mail job. Yeah, I used to deliver certain locations, and the yards were empty. You try to do deliveries of them consistently every weekend. There's nobody at home because man are just in some other country somewhere.
Yeah.
So then how does
it's a
that? That's why it affects how we can,
Maneuver.
pay for houses.
I don't know if it's still true, but I do remember it was something like in China, houses aren't allowed to be seen as an asset. So there's like obviously a loophole. So basically, it's like a thing where you can't really be owning up houses like that. So a lot of them, man, will just buy a house here where they can do that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Where
wash
they'll
their
just
money back.
wash their money back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it works. A lot of the London housing situation is just foreigners and elite just buying up houses.
Yeah, it's true.
Because even London,
And that's why the new builds,
Especially them big ones.
the flats cost 500 grand. Who's
Yeah.
buying that? You're working in Primark. You're buying.
Yeah, but,
But you're gonna have to have 4 wives, and they're all gonna have to have jobs.
Man, over there, man.
Bro, you gotta have to do polygamy to buy a house. Bro. That's Isaiah 401, and you might ain't got 50K to slap down on a.
Why do they even need to be that? You know what I'm saying?
They're poorly made.
Yep.
A lot of the time, because that's what came out. I know what a guy who's an architect, and he was basically saying his firm is having to do a lot of the building they built during 2012 for the Olympics. A lot of them fell fire safety, and these men are paying like the insane amounts of rent for a yard where it's like there's supposed to be a certain gap for fire, and it don't meet that. That don't meet the regs.
Nah, a lot of the my uncle was telling me that. He said, "Yeah, the quality of them, man. The quality of them, like you knock the door, you knock the wall, and they go fall over.
Yeah.
Because it's not no solid yard, but it don't need to be. They just build it up, and then they slap a 600 grand, 700 grand price tag, or they sucker you in on some shared ownership shit.
Which is most
that's the most dumb.
I've got I looked up according to the AI, asked it percent of houses in London that are empty. It says as of 2023, approximately 36,210 homes in London were classified as long-term vacant, which means there's something underneath there, meaning they had been unoccupied for over 6 months. This figure represents about 1% of the city's total housing stock.
And that is higher than
It's going to go into that.
really reality.
So it says, however, when considering all types of vacant properties, including second homes and short-term rentals, the number increases significantly. Estimates suggest that over 136,000 homes in London are not in regular residential use.
I'm sure it's even higher.
Yeah.
It's even higher than that. There's a lot of them, man, the Chinese man are coming in and buying up wholesale.
Yeah, it says the City of London has the highest proportion of empty homes in the UK, with approximately 42 vacant properties per 1,000 homes.
Yeah, they just buy them
Buy
things
them.
there and just hold them as assets,
Assets,
man.
yeah.
But that's what happens if you give the rich a whole bunch of money. Yeah, there's only so much you can do with the money. So they're gonna take that money and buy up all the assets, man. You know, and then you as the poor man, you trying to compete for those assets. You can't compete.
Yeah.
So Trump just did that fucking that tax cut just now. He just helped widen that wealth gap by doing the tax. But they tell you, well, if you tax the rich less, it's gonna trickle on down. But they still running with that shit.
They give themselves more.
They still running with that shit. Like, oh, it will trickle down.
No, they give themselves more, man, as always, man.
Yeah, go on, man. Yeah, go on.
As that's in 207, it says,
Trickle down economics, man.
the instruments of the chariot are evil. It devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words.
That's what this is, and this is the political game of Esau is what we just read. The lying words to destroy the poor, and that's what they do. That's what they're gonna do. And there might have been moments where you thought you were doing well. It's temporary. It's to meet some means to an means to an end. Then they get right back on the game, crush you down. And what's been happening to the middle class and to the working class globally, really,
Yeah.
but especially in the West, they being crushed, and that's what Trump had to run on. Yeah, I'm for you. Yeah.
Billionaire.
I'm not with the rich at all. Like, I'm for the common man. Alright.
Man, the rich.
Nah, man.
Like I said,
Lying
Labour,
words.
you know, these men here, Labour, they're all rich people, man. Whether it's Conservatives or Labour, they're all rich people at the end of the day, man. And they make this is based on what benefits them.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what Rome was like. You go back and you do the history of Rome, they had the plebeians and the patricians that it was supposed to be, that the plebeians and the way the democracy worked, that the people had a say. But all Roman laws were passed in favor of the patricians, which was the elite, rich families of Rome. Why is that?
Which is
That's
why
how the game works.
money talks. Yeah. So which is why when we speak about these things about how like the way that the rules around taxing assets are very different, but who can get real assets? The people that are at the top already.
Yep. And then when you do the numbers, like you talk about a billionaire, right, and how much revenue they get just doing nothing, and how much that disposable income. It's just nothing. It's just buying. Okay, more investment, then you get more money. It becomes an easy game when you get to that level because the interest that you're earning on things is different. Like you and your little £1,000 worth of stocks is nothing compared to a guy that's got millions upon millions. So when they win big,
Yeah.
and they're getting the phone calls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Among the professionals, for them, not them.
So they play a different type of game. Like man, like Rishi Sunak and them, man. Just
35 mil.
the money that they're just earning on the monthly.
Yeah, like 35 mil.
At the minimum,
Yeah, what do you think? They're spending that on food? Nah, they take that money and then they go buy up your assets, man, and make more money with it. Whereas
where they don't need to. They don't need to make more money.
Bro,
But they have it like an insatiable greed.
Yeah.
Esau system creates insatiable greed, man.
And then, but the tax system also forces them to do certain of those things.
yeah.
Because because when you look at, I mean, when you in the UK, we pay dumb tax.
Yeah.
We pay dumb tax in the UK, but like one of the ways you can reduce your tax burden is by, for instance, investing in a company, right? So then these guys will, as an example, will invest in a company, then like get a lower tax rate, and then if that company sells, then they're even better off.
Yep.
So it's just like win-win-win all round.
And like you said, they don't increase the tax band. Tax bands.
It's gonna be the same till 2030. Bro.
So even if you get a pay rise, because
inflation.
the tax band's not moved with it, still getting fucked anyway, man.
Yeah.
Place, man.
have a quick reset.
That was a good scripture, man. Them lying words, man, and that's all that comes out of these people. You're gonna be very rich. You're gonna be so rich. You won't know what to do with the money. And I'm just watching this shit like, just is he talking to adults or is he talking to? And yeah, fuck. You see, man, on Twitter, yeah, fuck yeah, man. Yeah, Trump is a businessman, man. Art of the deal, man. Yeah, he gonna make America great again. Yeah, man. We gonna get. I'm like, bro, like you guys need to grow up, man.
This is the thing, like secret messages, like these messages that they send out ain't necessarily for everybody. Yeah, someone's gonna be rich, richer than before. They ain't gonna be you.
They tell that to them man that's living in them tent cities, man. What's happening for them dons, like in them tent cities, on living underneath the bridge?
The same thing's happening here in Bristol. In Bristol, they got like trailer parks where people are saying, "Yo, like the rent is too much. I'm gonna." You got people earning 60K living in trailers.
Yeah,
In Bristol.
oh, the canal boat thing is highly sought after now.
I'm gonna say the boats.
Yeah.
You know?
But even here as
They're
well, like,
actually working.
Listen, right
come
now,
onto a boat.
it seems like the only strategy there is you gotta go down west and find one of them down to earth rich girls that don't get, and then just wife it up, blood.
Breed it up.
She got a yard paid for, blood. You just go back to her place, blood.
even
Hope that she got some damage from her daddy and
You go on a date and I find an old fucking rich.
Bro, it's easy that man think. Listen, you know what? Don't listen to Andrew Tate and all the you gotta be 6 foot and look, stop fucking listening to social media. Women don't care about shit. I guarantee you could go if you dress just decently, go down fucking Notting Hill Gate or one of them areas, and just roll up in a fucking like random Starbucks and Costa.
I'm sure you told me that story too.
And start talking to one of these Sarahs, yeah? Sarah don't care. As long as you're a fun guy and you know how to talk, Sarah will pay for you. Sarah, you will. Can you show me around? I've not been, and they'll go there. Oh, I ain't really got that much money. Yeah, don't worry about it. Daddy's car. Boop, 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 boop. You know, you guys are talking about you need a Ferrari, man.
Especially as a dick. If I can say, you gotta think about the kind of man she's been around all of her life. Those boring ass Edomites. Someone's and then you're just there like actually being funny. She's gonna be like, I like these guys.
Bro, you could do it, man. That's the next economic thing. And there's plenty of these girls. They down there. They got money. They're not worried about money, man. They owns a hedge fund and all that.
Yeah.
You know, they're nice, man. They just want to chill. They're down to earth. A lot of them are down to earth, man. They chill. They don't care if you ain't 6 foot. Don't watch too much fucking manosphere videos, man. Get out there in the real world.
Have a good one. This is Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yep.
But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
And you see, this is the thing. Now you're gonna get people rejoicing on the Trump, but that's because they're getting manipulated into rejoicing.
Yeah.
They get manipulated into rejoicing. It's
It's
not coming from a real play. They're already rejoicing off headlines, like, and nothing can even change in their life. They just the way it is that the wicked are the ungodly are the ones that prosper in this world. The wicked are the ones that are in rulership, and they're not gonna do nothing for the people, man, except destroy them. And once you understand this, that's how you can't be fooled. Because you know what the game is. The game is all to get you to agree.
Yeah. Those that consent unto them shall be had in their rich.
Eventually, people gonna realize it's slavery anyway.
Yeah.
And this the thing is, like, there's no excuses there because you chose this path, man. You accepted and agreed to do these things.
Yeah.
Listen, the best thing you can do, and this is real advice. If you're an American, right, you're a Brit, anyone like that, you've got your middle class, and you've got certain assets and money. This is what you should do: sell your house, sell your car, sell everything you have, sell your wife, sell your kids, sell it all, and move to fucking Thailand, and live like a king until destruction comes. That's what I'm saying.
That's what them man do when they move to like Bali and them places.
Like, why are you doing it to yourself? Listen, if you're in London and you just sell the house. If you can get together about 300-400K, bro, you know what that does in certain places in the world. You're gonna live like a king forever.
I mean, even for like people, we know, like in our family, there's people who literally, when they get their pension, they just move back home. Because like back home in Ghana,
the money's big. But I told you, one Somali guy I was chatting to, and I was like, "Yo, you're paying to the work pension." He's like, "What the fuck am I doing that for?" And then just having a conversation. I was like, "Okay, cool. But what about your kids?" He said, "Fuck them." He said, "That's because I said like, but your kid, even if you don't want your pension, your kids will get." He said, "Fuck them. Listen, I tell you what you do. You see the state pension? That how much that little bit of money is, brother." Go to Somalia, drinking camel milk. The money you'll be getting in Somalia, you're gonna be drinking cattle milk, eating fucking camel and fucking lamb leg every day, and you're gonna have a maid clean your shit plus 2 wives running on your dick with that same money. That's what a man is doing.
And it's not even like even in a no, it's not even exaggeration. People in Ghana, right? The normal monthly rate, like baseline, is like £250 to £300 a month. So if you got a pension of 1,500,
you live in
you're creaming.
Bro, it's true, man.
I've seen it.
Trying to make a lot of these people that are in America, what's holding you back from enjoying what's left of this kingdom is the fact that you're holding on to where you are. Sell everything you have and go find some fucking roll the dice, man. So what if you get your head chopped off? Before you get your head chopped off, you're gonna be living like a fucking
get the best head of your life.
remember this one guy, what was the African don that just got paid?
The boxing.
The heavyweight.
Cody.
Was it
Yeah,
Bacoli?
it wasn't.
Martin Bacoli, And we did the numbers. The money he got for that, what was it, like 600K, No tax, right?
Tax.
Bro, when we did the numbers, was it Congo or something like that?
Congo.
Bro, the man's gonna be president next year. 600K going back to Congo. He's a king. He's done. He don't need to work again for the rest of his life, and he's gonna be living better than middle class man in America that's fucking paying all that money with the kids trying to. But that's just advice for the world, you know. You brothers that's in this thing, just serve the Lord.
That's it.
But if you're in the world, or just waiting around for Trump to make America great again, it's fucking dip, man.
Just go make Congo great.
Bro, you seen some of the places you could buy in Thailand and them places
bro.
for like
100%.
50 grand.
Yeah.
It's a fucking palace, man. Are you mad?
Oh, shit.
But I'll be gone already, fam.
Bro, the local restaurant I go
Bro.
to, yeah, the woman was like, "I'm to Thailand. You live like king."
Bro, them man are getting paying a pound. That's why them mans do go back to Bangladesh. They'll pay a pound. They're getting the full
Rubbing
face massage, everything for a pound, man. They give them a pound, and they're getting what you have to pay £100 here in a Turkish bath.
Oh, shit.
And like people there that are doing decent, they have a different mindset. You don't hear guys trying, find a girl and chase this and chase that. People back home with money, they live like fucking kings.
There's no stress.
Oh,
No
yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
That's what they do. That's what they do.
That's what I'm getting at.
I see
Yeah,
it.
man. Hey, we're just telling you the truth. So all you man that's trying to wait for Trump to make America great again,
Yeah,
man. You're in the middle class and you got a house that you can sell. Sell that shit today and leave America, man. It's not worth it. It's not gonna get no better. Just go where you can enjoy, even if it's only a month, even if it's only 2-3 months. Live like a king, man.
Yeah.
Know what it's like to have 5-6 maids, bro, just rubbing your chin instead of doing the rat race, man.
Mm.
Good, man.
It's Jeremiah 51 and
See, we're giving man better advice than
these
these
top guys.
Andrew Tate and all these guys. We're telling man the real, like we're giving, you know.
It's Jeremiah 51 verse 7. It says, Babylon having a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. You're just mad now, You don't know what's going on. The nations have drunken of a wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
When the missiles hit, that's it. See, you could a country can always come back from economic, downfall or whatever. You know what you can't come back for? Nukes. They ain't not coming back.
Yeah.
Once the Lord does what he's about to do to Babylon, there really is no coming back. It's like you can't, okay, well, if we just work hard and go through hard. No, there ain't no one to work hard. America's going to be a desolate desert. So everyone's just going to have to leave, forget about it.
Uninhabitable.
The rest of the humanity in the kingdom of heaven, America's not going to be a thing. It's not going to be a thing. And rightfully so.
And knowing this, man, like, you wouldn't want to be in America.
Yeah.
It's like
You're wasting your time.
America's got a fucking crosshairs on it, man.
Bro, move to Mexico.
Yeah, it's like if you know a major destruction was about to happen, like a major earthquake was going to happen in this region, but you wouldn't go move
Bro,
there.
there's people right now that if they sold everything they had and moved to Mexico, they'll live a better.
Yeah.
They'll live a better life because when they
Literally
move to
south of
Mexico, they wouldn't be living socio-economically where they're living now in America. They'll be better off, so they'll be going straight into some gated community somewhere. Another place they say like Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
You could go to Puerto Rico and with a certain amount of money, you'll go straight into a gated community, so you ain't got to worry about the crime and all that shit. Yeah, and you're just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what did Trump call them countries, man? Shithole countries.
Feed it when you got money.
Yeah. But also feeding into that thing of you can only stay in America. It's like
Well, if shithole countries based on what the majority of the populace how they live. America's turning into the same
exactly.
thing.
It's worse.
It's turning into the same thing.
Like, right. Yeah, legit. Because I think about this. Like when she visited California, he must have been like when these man visit Zimbabwe or some shit, man. Like, oh shit, what the hell's going on there? Right, Cali ain't what it used to be anymore. The brothers say that that out there, man.
But the standard of living is gonna go down. There's a place I think Madagascar. They actually built their economy based upon receiving pensioners.
Right.
A lot of people go to Madagascar. Like they make it easy for you to just receive your pension over there because it feeds their man
Local
coming over
economy.
spending the money
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But that's what man should listen. Wisdom. Why the hell are you retiring? You see people retiring in England and
UK.
bro, what are you doing,
It's hell.
Go to Madagascar, bro.
I'd go.
Man,
Bro.
you got Edomites there eating beans, blood,
I already hate
and dying in the winter.
I already hate the weather. I ain't got
Yeah.
too many excuses I need to make.
Bro,
Let's jump.
it's really just this faith. Is what broke it.
We're here because we're supposed to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Spirit of the Lord, man.
Yeah. To curse this place out.
Because how can the voice be fulfilled by being scattered across all places?
yeah.
We need to be all these different
Yeah.
places, right?
Yeah.
We got to do our part.
Listen, we're just giving advice to you, man, that, listen,
Are in the
if
world.
you're in the world, you don't want to get down with the truth. Okay, then just the best thing for you to do is leave, man. If you got assets, I mean, if you ain't got assets, then obviously you might end up in a favela. Mine's the cameraman to some cartel shaking. Like, you don't want that. But I'm saying there's plenty of Americans. They're holding on now because of Trump. When what they should be doing is setting up shops, selling all them damn fucking do what you got to do. Get together a good, 300k, 400k. You can make it work.
I would appreciate
Like you attack it.
So we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Leave her.
Yeah, so like, you know what I mean?
Huh? What you say?
Forsake her.
Yeah, forsake her, man.
Babylon can't be healed, right?
And let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaching unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies.
Yeah, and you're probably going to get a lot of immigrants that have done well. And even in the UK, you've seen that. A lot
Yeah.
of Polish people that have
Leave
done
it.
well for themselves,
Yeah,
they're going back to Poland.
Yeah, they actually leave it.
Because they could do a lot better over there with money that
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
built
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And why be here? Because it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And you're going to start seeing that happen more and more where people are like, you know what? I
On
could
there.
just go back where I come from and live a lot better
Yeah.
than what I'm living at here. And I got to catch help on these locals
Yeah.
that are blaming everything on me.
That's the spirit. Well, once go on my old Romanian colleagues, he just, sent a message like, yeah, man, two people that I know they're moving back home, and he was kind of like, if I weren't tied down there, I'll be moving back as well.
Yeah.
I'll be weighing my options.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's thing.
Up on the road in Birmingham.
And I,
Where was we?
I have a precept.
Yeah.
This is
That's crazy. That's our
Revelation. Revelation chapter 17 and 1.
I mean, the brother's just showing that how all these councils are going bankrupt. What does that say? What does that say, man? How can the councils be going bankrupt in a first world
That
country?
means the
man?
roads ain't gonna get fixed, the rubbish ain't gonna get collected.
Yeah.
But then the
Old-
cost of
Areas
but
gonna
the,
get
but the
shit.
taxes are
Trump
going
was
up.
talking about the shit.
Yeah.
This
But the
is what's
council
to come,
tax
like.
going up, bro.
Why for?
So you're getting less services,
So they man can't be bankrupt.
but you're paying more. And I know you've noticed this, yeah. Where we're from, bro, they don't cut the grass, man.
Yeah, same.
What's this? What we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I was growing up, you'd never see long grass.
Yeah.
Everything would always be cut.
Hey, do you know what it is? My council though, they spun it nice, didn't it? I was like, oh yeah, because of local habitat, we ain't gonna cut it just
Nah,
yet. I was
nah,
like, oh, you good?
I
That's
care
good
about
for you.
habitat.
I was like,
They
that's
ain't
good
cutting
for
the
you.
grass. They ain't doing no litter picking is happening no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Right, they're cutting back
Right.
on the bin collections.
Mhm.
The recycle bin is every 2 weeks, and then they do the other bin for every week. It should be every 2 weeks.
But sometimes they don't turn up. Sometimes they don't actually turn up, but they're
Bro.
supposed to.
It's a joke thing, man. It's a joke thing. But meanwhile, the spending budget is always up and up and up. Where's the money going to? That's what man needs to. That's what Trump needs to explain. But he ain't explaining all that. Trump, where all these, the other countries have robbed us, bro. They robbed us. America generated a whole bunch of money. Yeah, where did it all go? Why don't you do a press conference and start naming names? Okay, well, this guy, he's now worth this amount of money, and his money came directly from fucking over all you people there.
Yeah.
He ain't doing that, is he? They ain't never naming no names. Name the names. Where did the money disappear to, man? That's what we want to know. Oh, Doge found all this fraud. Okay, who was responsible for that? Can we get some names? Where did the money go? Can we get that money back? No, we're just saying,
Exactly.
fuck out of here. When there's real fraud, then there's something called clawback. You can claw back fraud. You can take people to court for fraud.
And there's also special crime was it misappropriating public
Misappropriation
funds?
of public funds. But none of that's happening because it's all, man, fuck, listen, leave. You can leave. That's what I'm saying. Because it's about to get sticky out here.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad all over the world.
Yeah.
But my point is, why live like a dog for, for the remainder of your time when you can live like a king? That's what I'm saying.
This is
I don't know what I'll be doing.
Revelation chapter 17 and 1. And they came, one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying, come hither, and I will show thee unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
Yeah, because they gave their economies over to serving the consumerism of America, which Trump is painting as they robbed us. Fucking dickhead. These men were working in sweatshops.
Yeah.
For years.
Jumping
These
from
guys are
was it
Foxconn, yeah,
man,
for Apple,
jumping from
yeah.
buying so that the American people could make themselves feel better for buying things cheaply. Meanwhile, their lives were being eroded. But as long as you could buy some useless product that you don't need, that was all good. Now all of a sudden they were robbing. Like,
And so if I can say, when you look at what these companies that go to these third world countries are doing, they're the ones doing the mass robbery, man.
Yeah.
Companies like Glencore,
going up, and that's the big mining one, and then not paying taxes with the countries where they.
Yeah, bro, it's so disingenuous here that he's trying to blame other countries. It's just it's you're watching it and you're just like, oh, so America's been getting robbed.
What's happening?
By Vietnam. Is that what's been happening? They just been ripping us off. They've been ripping us off for years. No, my nigga, you and your friends have been ripping off America for years.
But this is now a common thing. Like we all see with all these companies that are supposed to take care of your water, your electricity, and all this kind of stuff, man. Them are taking bare money out of the system.
Yeah.
But nothing's getting developed. Our water system's shit now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, who's ripping us off then?
Who's responsible for this?
Yeah. Is it China?
They're not gonna claw back them profits there, you know?
He's now getting bump bonuses every fucking year, man. COVID happened. Oh, they got mega bonuses. Like, why? Why are they getting these bonuses?
Yeah, did anyone even get done for all that mask bullshit that they were doing? when they were doing
No, I
contract?
don't think so. I remember Matt Hancock had the contract for the PPE.
Yeah.
And then they were like, they interviewed him and he was like, yeah, my sister's cousins, auntie.
It's you know, one of these Edomites, once again, in terms of their lies, they like to paint these other foreign governments as being corrupt, which there's corruption there. But there's hella corruption here. That's why you see certain, like you see a government project and it's it's going to be 3 times overpriced. You know, I remember one of my family members used to work in like a council, one of the councils in West London, and he was saying he was seeing bare under the table, like the
The
benches.
Millennium Dome. The Millennium Dome. Remember Boris Johnson did that bridge, spent all that money prospecting it, didn't build it. Then you had the fucking Elizabeth line.
Yeah, like
Fucking
3
Sadiq
years.
Khan and that dickhead. Who's the other dickhead? The both of
Boris?
them went Boris, and then man went there for like 2 months before it was meant to open, and then all of them said, "Oh, I had no idea that it wasn't going to be complete." Motherfucker, we all could see it.
Yeah.
The man was still working on it a month before it's meant to open.
Yeah.
How you can't, you can see it's not ready. Bro.
They should still run at the abandoned.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they spent a bunch of money on
And
that.
And that's corruption because someone is getting paid.
Now, don't get it
But it's-
twisted.
it's that Trump stage stuff. But no, it's not in
But don't get it twisted. You have members of those countries around the world who benefited and became rich working with these companies and taking their cut. But let's not pretend that they were the ones making the lion's share of the profit. The lion's share of the profit was still being made in the West. It's just that they weren't sharing it.
Remember, I believe you go, bro.
I know what I'm saying. I'm aware from some of that.
Yeah.
Front of the world.
Oh, IMF.
Yeah, IMF. Yeah. I was gonna
Go on.
So I was gonna say there was a time I remember this would have been like 2008, 2009 or whatever. No, 2011, 12, when BP or Shell destroyed a part of, I think it was Ghana or Nigeria, I forget which one, the size of Wales. Right? Destroyed a plot of land the size of Wales. And then it was just like,
Yeah.
you know,
Bare like they China and them they're polluting it and it's not fair. Yeah, of course it's not fair on their people, but yeah, so that you lot can go to your clothes stores and buy a shirt for $1.
Yeah.
That the reason that's happening is because men are over there working for not only for cheap but also destroying their local environment.
Yeah.
Well, you were 100% complicit with that. Now all of a sudden you were getting ripped off. Fuck it now.
All these sustainable policies and anti-corruption policies, they're all because of your corporations. You know that these things are coming into into play because you're the biggest polluter on the planet anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so we can point fingers and say, "Oh yeah, it's happening here."
Man's
but
a
you're
billion.
the
You know
reason
what?
why it's being
The irony of a billionaire saying that they were ripping us off. It's insane. Man, it's hella ironic, isn't it? Like these guys, oh yeah, they were ripping us off. Then why are you a billionaire?
These companies are out there.
Yeah. One of the MAGA hats made in China or some shit like that?
It was. And his clothing brand. His clothing brand, he was bragging about how he outsourced it and was making the money.
Yeah.
You know, people have a short memory, you know? Go on,
It says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Right, because the main driver, and that's what America was used for, the main driver that Esau used to push himself on the world was through America.
Yeah.
America and the American corporation and the financial system, they used America to push everything forward.
Yeah.
That's why when you go go to the dollar bill and you flip the dollar bill, if anyone still has one. On the dollar bill, it's got a fucking pyramid on there that says what it says about the New World Order. And that's how you know that America was not made for you to have an American dream. America was set up for the elite to use it to prepare the way for the next installment of their rulership that they think they're going to bring through. And they use America for that.
Yeah.
This is, you know, the way they're trying to paint it is like the way the world is right now. It all happened accidentally and we never had nothing to do with it.
Whoops.
You know, Sleepy Joe was asleep at the wheel and all that shit. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, man. Like I said, they opened up China to the world.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it Mao Zedong?
Yep, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Mao Zedong, didn't they applaud China and said China is the beacon of what a country should be and all this shit, man?
Yeah.
They were doing.
Yeah.
Fuck
'Cause,
out of
yeah.
here, man.
When you well, I was saying before the camp, when you look like back in 90, because I was around 1970, which aligns right with the scriptures, mind you, right? You know, when thou set thy nest among the stars, right? Around 1970, you look at pictures from back then. Yo, China was just farmland. It was food. It was actually food.
Yeah, they were all living subsistence.
Yeah, right. And then, but then now you look from like the 2000s onwards, and then that's why you're seeing companies like DJI and all of these big, you know, that's still recent, you know.
Yeah, and they've concentrated on that rather than spending all their money on wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because America America made the money and they had the ability to just turn the whole of America into Shanghai.
Yeah.
Like just pure infrastructure.
Sure.
But that they don't care about that. They use the money to funnel the money back to themselves through the military industrial complex, man.
And things as well. And Cheek, I remember speaking to them girls, right? They were saying that, like, you know, to go on business class on a train, right, for like hundreds of miles, like £20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas here, you try to take a train up to not even Birmingham. I'm pretty sure it's more expensive than £20.
It's cheaper
Yeah.
to fly out the UK and then fly out to like Manhattan and that than it is to take a train up.
It's insane.
Yeah, whose fault is that? Who told you to spend all the money on the
crazy.
military? And then on top of that, he just increased the military budget. So the next budget for the military for the year is $1 trillion, a whole trillion.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they're having to think about what they're gonna do. Like, because with the terrorists as well, that whole bullshit that they were pushing over the fiscal headroom that she had has been eroded. So they knew that it wasn't gonna be possible to maintain that kind of budget.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why the American people should be angry.
Yeah.
Because someone's been robbing you. That's true.
Mhm.
But it ain't man in China.
Exactly.
It's the man them that's on the TV for you right now.
Last one, if I may. I mean, obviously, this is officially speaking. But officially speaking, China came out and they said they've eroded abject poverty in their country. So then it's like, America, with all of that time, what have they been doing? If China can allegedly, you got to say that because it's still propaganda, right? If China can allegedly get rid of poverty in their country, why can't, in 20 or so, 30, 40, 50 years, why can't America have done it?
Well, I'll tell you what you do. You make sure that they have enough entertainment available and drugs to keep them distracted and sedated. That's it.
Yeah.
Make sure bitches is hella available, so man's getting the low as much pussy as possible, and keep them in that level.
Nice.
Okay, there's no families around.
I'm a member of a family. You don't speak about women in that way.
Whatever.
What women? How? I don't even know if you're a woman. You could be a man.
What is a woman?
Okay.
Have a good day.
All right.
It's funny. It's like, you know, you don't just come out and roll up to the men of the
Yeah,
Lord.
it's family. There ain't no family here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
there's probably one, but it's Muslim.
Which agrees with what we're saying as well.
I'm a member of a family.
Yeah. It's easy. Speak what you're speaking. We're coming into a time when people are gonna start paying for all of the crap that they say when they walk past the men of the Lord, man. You know, you actually got a member with the lady in the ambulance. She just been there chilling or whatever. She didn't say anything, made it out loud anyway.
Man, she's just an idiot, man. That's just one sign of saying. She
Yeah.
got hurt, man. But
Just
it's,
wanted
ain't
attention.
nobody wanting her pussy. That's why.
It's like feminist. spirit.
But that's what they've done. They've keep the Americans distracted for what actually has happened to them. You know, and it's gonna continue happening to them.
Man didn't even hear
The context.
context of what he was talking about. You just heard a word.
Style language.
You just heard a
Bro,
word.
there are no families here, so I
Yeah.
don't know what she's talking about. She's just running her mouth. Anyway, go on.
Real quick. There you go. Psalms,
Like if she was on their phone, she wouldn't say something
Yeah.
on the phone. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, but then that same lady, if you asked her, is it cool to, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
have you seen what the fuck she's even wearing?
Exactly.
Have you seen what she's wearing?
Exactly.
I don't know
She's
what.
talking
But-
about being family.
but
partner.
Exactly.
She looks like she need a fashion advice anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who you with? The 12 tribes of Israel.
Yeah, that's right.
So what are you?
We're the Israelites. We're Israelites. That's what we are.
Because I'm Jewish, yes.
Really?
Well, my husband was.
Oh, okay. But where are you from? You said you were Jewish. You're Jewish as well.
No, I'm from Lancashire, but I can.
Oh,
pronounce it.
Lancashire.
I'm a convert.
Oh, okay. Judaism. Okay, I understand.
So you're representing Judaism.
We're representing the Israelites in the Bible. We don't follow Judaism. No.
No, well, not at the moment, certainly. No.
Oh,
You follow the Bible.
yes.
So it's nice. I hope I haven't. It's the wrong moment.
No, it's fine.
No,
It's
it's all
fine. All right, take
Take
care.
care.
Take care.
Yeah, go on.
So I've got Psalms 127 and 1.
See, she came with a different vibe.
Yeah.
She was actually trying to understand.
Yeah.
That one over there.
Listen.
So Psalms 127 and 1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that built it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep.
Yeah, man. The Lord ain't with America, man. That's the main thing. And it's only gonna go one way. And they're trying to say the Lord's with, man. They try to play this Christian role, and then it don't even make sense because this is how you know Esau's the devil, right? They're happy for Trump to be bullying people and doing all these different things, but I thought you guys were Christians. Is that what the way you're acting? Are you acting like a Christian? They're not acting like Christians. They had this, you know, the little sports person. They said she needs to go back to Hooters, man. And the left are funny. Man. They said she needs to go back to work for Hooters. But she was all praying before she went up to the thing. Oh, Jesus, you know. I'm thinking, man, these people are hypocrites, man.
Yeah.
You're not concerned with the things of the spirit. All the man's talking about is money and bullying, and these men are like, yeah, we America, we got the power, we could do what we want, we could do. That don't sound very Christian. It's not brotherly, is it? You're not trying to foster the spirit of brotherhood in the world.
Oh, when he done the terrorists, he was literally saying when the terrorists got introduced, all these world leaders to kiss my ass. They're kissing my ass. They want to make a deal. They said, "Trump, we'll make a deal."
Yeah, like, and that just shows you that Esau is all on this brotherly love. It's all an act. It's all bullshit. Like when they think they're gonna get something out of it, they'll do whatever it takes, man. They'll threaten man with nukes, bombs, everything. Yeah.
This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 16. And enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
That's exactly what they're doing, man. I watch it I watch a lot of the political presses, especially in America. America's got a special type of politics. You watch it, and you're just like, wow, like, this is
really a game.
This is really bad, isn't it? Like, this is how are people not just burnt this place down already? Like some of the stuff that Trump says, you're just like, this is really designed to appeal to children. Yeah. If someone had said to me, you're gonna be so rich, you're gonna have so much money, you don't know what to do with it. I'd be like, are you talking to me or are you talking to an adult? Like, that's not how two adults should be speaking. That sounds like that's how you expect some Nigerian scammer to tell you.
Hey, what was that thing that Jake tried, NCA, NAC or whatever? The one where it's just like they do the Avon for Men thing, man.
Yeah, it sounded like a lot of the stuff he says. It's like
ICN.
this is what's this meant to be like motivational speaking or something. Like what are you speaking to adults or are you speaking to children?
Yeah.
Because don't speak to I wouldn't have someone
Everyone's
speak to me
gonna
like
be
this.
rich.
It's like, oh, I'm a serious man. Like,
Yeah.
talk to me serious, but don't talk to me in rhetoric. I don't want to hear rhetoric. Rhetoric don't do nothing for a man. Yeah, it's a lot of American politics is like it's more than any other politics. It's a lot of it is just pure rhetoric and showmanship. You know, and telling people what they want to hear. Yeah, fuck yeah, America. Like, wow,
America.
stop waving flags. And all this stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
You know, at least Starmer and them, they don't go that far. Like, this is, you know,
Everyone's gonna be rich.
I've never heard nothing like it. I said you're gonna have so much money. You don't know what to do.
That's ridiculous.
Yo, this is America. Man, know what to do with money, bro. You can't give Jake that much money. Jake know how to waste money.
Bring straight talent.
Think about them big rocks. Anyway, so, wait, so when someone read the Revelation somewhere?
Yeah, I was thinking for
Yeah. It's that off. America's huge, man.
Alright, I'll go back to the Revelation.
And I think they're saying, what I heard is that he's putting a 60-day deadline for something to do with Iran. And they're still talking about this Iran and this nuclear deal business. And it's just, I mean, you look at this stuff and you're like, bro, like, and this is meant to be your savior? Right? Why is it, a question would be, yeah, why is it, if Iran did get a nuclear weapon, so what? That's what I would, why doesn't one of these people that's in a journalism say to Trump, who fucking cares? If, let's say Iran tomorrow had 20 nuclear weapons, what do you think, what are they going to do with them? They're going to just launch them, they'll just launch it on Israel and then have nuclear weapons launched on them and then they're all dead. I thought there was something called mutually assured destruction. So what does it matter if Iran has nuclear weapons? Have Iran shown themselves to be a type of country that invade and destroy people like that? No. It's just a problem that they're creating that doesn't need to be there. Instead of concentrating on making America great again, now you're talking about Iran. But who cares? And that just should wake people up to understand, like, yeah, you're still being played. You're still being played because this shouldn't be an issue. I'll be like, okay, you can have your nuclear weapon, who cares? But the day you use it is the day you end. And that'll be the end of it. Now let's concentrate on something else. In fact, I'll sell you the nuclear weapons and we'll take the money from that. We'll take the money from that and we'd have so much money.
Yeah. Well, didn't Trump? So, like, Trump said something like that recently when talking about the new F-30, or the new fighter jets that they have, and then he basically said, obviously we'll sell the other people, the other nations, a toned down version of it in case one day we're not allies anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just shit. Your shit anyway.
Yeah.
And then India has nuclear weapons.
Yeah. And
Pakistan has nuclear weapons. So who cares if Iran has nuclear weapons? Why is this even a talking? Because they're making it into an issue. They're making it into a problem. This doesn't have to be a problem. No. But I think they said they put a 60-day deadline on something or the other like that Iran has to make. And then I think Iran said something back to them like, okay, we'll agree if everyone in the region don't have nuclear weapons, including Israel. So that was quite interesting too. But that just puts into play that, you know, the Iran situation with Israel is prophetically still on the board.
Yep. 60-day deadline for Iran to make progress on talks over the nuclear program. Otherwise, they said there's a threat of military.
But they already made a deal. And this is the funny thing is people forget that they made a deal. And Europe was happy with the deal. Everybody was happy with the deal. And then when Trump came into the office, he scrapped the deal.
Yeah, Europe was hurt again.
So then what he's shown is that there isn't actually a deal. If you make a deal with America, it's not a deal anyway, because the next president can just come in and scrap the deal.
Yeah.
So they can't be trusted. So there ain't really going to be no deal. Or if there's a deal, it's going to be rubbish. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't trust them anyway.
Yep. Never trust an enemy.
So you got the 90-day tariff thing, which trade deals aren't made in 90 days unless they've already got one on the board.
Yeah.
But
so, because to back you up with a trade deal, you need something. I forget what it's, but you need something like reciprocity or whatever of your certain rules. which is why one of the reasons why it's kind of hard for the UK to make a deal with America.
Oh,
Because,
bro, don't start talking about all that because the MAGA man. They're just the reason is because they got the VAT.
yeah,
Them man don't even-
yeah,
I'm watching this like, bro. So America's so uneducated. Yeah, the Europe put VAT, and that's stopping us. It's like, bro, VAT is on everything.
yeah.
VAT is not costing. It's not more expensive to buy American products with a VAT. Products made in Europe have VAT on it. Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
the reason we have Heinz ketchup in Europe, it's just that we don't have the one that's made in America.
Yeah.
The one that's made in America glows in the dark,
Yeah, and that's not allowed.
and that's
yeah.
not allowed here.
So that's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So it's all of those sorts of things. So it's like if America's got all of these GMO products, but I mean, America's got so much food that can't be sold in Europe.
Yeah.
So for the trade deals to happen, America's going to have to be like, well, we need to be able to sell our food in your country, which means that country then has to remake laws.
Change laws.
Obviously, end up potentially having referendums, and you can't do all of
And
that.
there's also eating habits.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure in Italy they don't want to eat Twinkies or whatever.
Yeah.
They eat, cultural and habits as well also affect. Like even the American cars, they're saying, well, you know, we don't. They don't buy our American cars.
Oh, we got smaller roads.
Yeah, but they got smaller roads in Europe, so they need cars that can actually turn.
Oh,
And the side of the road that
Parking spaces.
they don't make cars to drive on the side of the road that they drive in Europe. Like, there's a lot of reasons for certain products, but you see, if you oversimplify it for the American public, then you can get away with just telling them anything because they'll just be like, hell yeah,
which
you know, gosh darn it, and all that.
So like, which proves that the media and the news are in on it because they can explain these things, but they choose not to purposely. Brexit was a perfect example of that. Because the only time they ever asked, like, what will you get from Brexit, was after it was a done deal.
Yep. Gosh darn it, them damn Europeans, man, ain't buying our American cars.
Yeah.
They buy, people use Fords.
And that cowboy hats.
Ford is probably one of the most popular cars.
But they made heads.
British.
Yeah.
It's not a British
Back
car.
in the moment,
Basically
isn't it?
British.
It's basically British.
Yeah.
Gosh darn it.
You go to any repair shop, they can find the part.
But when I think it says 60% of the American public read at less than a 6th grade level or something like that. This is what you're gonna get. You know?
So this is verse 3 in Revelation, the 17th chapter. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy.
Yeah, blasphemy, because America's all about lying, especially lying on the Most High. They're fake Christians. Trump and his fake Christianity, and these men don't believe in the scriptures, man. They don't act like they believe in the scriptures. It's all lies, man. It's all BS. You know, it's sickly. It's sickly to it. It's the way they like to pretend to represent religion. He said he gonna make Christianity great again.
Oh yeah.
Selling Bible
and
stuff, man.
God makes America great again. Bible. That's
But then you
horrendous.
said earlier, he said he's not a Christian.
Yeah, he said that.
So what is it?
He said he's not a Christian, and then nothing, no decision he makes is ever backed up by the scriptures in the Bible. You know? Go on.
And it says, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of a fornication.
Yeah, abominations, and that's America. America's filthy, man. All forms of abominations exist in America, wholesale.
Yep.
It's a filthy, disgusting culture and place, man, that deserves to be destroyed. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact, man. It's a disgusting culture.
Yeah, when you really think about it.
Like, you know, from the food to the children, just the way people act in general, man. It's disgusting. And the rest of the world see it, man. They say, these men trying to act like they're bare civilized. These people are crazy. Child murders, child killings, all that kind of stuff, man. Child suicide, molestation, sexual depravity.
Yeah, that's why spiritually, that's the valley of the shadow of death, man. Because like, death is everywhere over there, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? People get random argument, like, pow, pow, like,
bro. If you
Fuck
watch,
it all,
I've been
bro.
watching. You probably know. I've been watching a lot of them. Like explore with us and stuff like that. You know,
Oh,
them channels that they break down crimes and they show you all the interrogations and all that stuff, man. Some of the crimes are heinous, man.
yeah.
Absolutely heinous. There's some real psychos,
It's dark.
and it ain't like one or two. It's just it happens
It's like
all the time.
murder.
I bet it's mostly Edomites as well, right?
Yeah, well, on there they got a difference, but what I find with a lot of the Edomite ones is a lot of the Edomite ones are just mad. Like Jake will do robberies and the typical sociopath bullshit, like. But then you'll have ones on there where an Edomite just killed his parents,
Yeah.
and it was really for no reason. It's like he just decided, I just wanted to see what it was like when I stabbed them, and you're like, what's going on? This is insane. Like, where did he get it from? Man, one guy's trying to be like Bateman out of flipping American Psycho and all this. Man, sick stuff, man. Sick stuff, man. Dude just rolling up, just doing crazy things, man. And it's across the board, really. It's just a sick, demonic place, man. You know? And the culture itself is driving the people, dumbing the people down, making them more carnal. And that's why, really, if you think about it, man, America, man, they can't afford. Well, it's gonna happen, but if there is one place you don't want things to collapse, is America, because you can collapse in a certain place that has people who have a certain respect for each other.
Yeah.
And it ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Because you know when times get hard, they'll pull together. Oh,
Yeah,
you're my
for real.
brother, hey, my
For real.
brother, and the children are all in order.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
America, boy, like,
Yeah.
people are all narcissists, man. They're narcissists, hooked on drugs,
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff. Yeah, like that population has to be managed. They're insane. Literally, there's a lot of criminally insane people.
I'm gonna grab this is Isaiah 19:2, and I'll set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
They're absolutely culturally divided in America. There is no America as a unit. They're split along racial lines, and even among the races, they're split. Jake ain't got no real unity. They're split on block to block basis, man. Man, you know, with this gang stuff and all this foolishness, they're split. They're split even in their politics. Democrats hate Republicans. Republicans hate Democrats to a point where families are getting broken up and marriages are getting broken up. Man, these people are insane. They're insane, man. Man would just roll up to the school and just shoot up the blood clot school.
To say his house is divided.
They're
You know,
divided, man.
If he's divided, how can his kingdom stand, right?
A country that can survive turmoil is a country where they're strong and together. So you can survive a crisis because you don't fall into the chaos as much because man respect each other. So it's like, okay, we'll pull together, we'll share resources. Man. America ain't.
And that program, oh shit, leave the world behind. You know, it outlines that, man. You think you're close to people, but you're not really, man. These are all individualists, man.
They're insane. They're narcissists. America, the society that America has actually creates narcissistic individuals
it does.
en masse. Most people are individualistic and narcissistic. They don't really care about people around them. They only care about themselves. Whereas there's places in the world where from a child, you're raised more to be part of something that's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And this is why when we speak about China, them man will be over there suffering and be like, yes, well, it's for the good of the country.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? man?
China must
You know?
survive.
Yeah, China must survive them tactics, man. In America, them man be like, gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Just shoot someone.
Nah, 357.
It's even like when you look at like little things, like even how their names are structured, where it's like their names are structured with the bigger first, i.e. the family. So it won't be like, you know, Ming Li. It will be like whatever, the Wang Ming Li or whatever, because Wang is a family, and the family is more important than the person.
Yeah.
You know?
Like even down to like a sale will be going on. And man need to get to this product. And man have beef over that.
Yeah.
There's certain places in the world where man will orderly just go and get it. And then if there's none left, okay. I can't see it somewhere like Japan here, there being a sale. And man just I need to get to this TV. Black Friday.
Yeah.
I would like to see if in Japan, if they had a Black Friday type sale where we would see people just diving over each other and doing madness.
Well, in the Japan Apple stores, the phones aren't locked.
They're not locked. They're just free. Like
You took a 2/3 there. He thinks,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
man, that's
No, but you
definitely
know what it's
the-
like? It's like
Yeah.
when you know the last action hero, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know when remember well, I love that part of the film when my man came to the real world, because in his world the heroes, as soon as you do a crime, the police turn up and just arrest you, isn't it? Like, yeah. But then when he came to the real world, he was like, oh, let me test out, and he shot that guy, innit? No, he saw someone get shot, and they were like, oh, take his shoes, and he was like, huh? Take his shoes. And then so he went on this. There was a guy just working in a garage, and he just shot him. And then he said, "Excuse me, I just shot a man." And someone said, "Shut up." And he was like, he went to Arnold Schwarzenegger. In this world, the bad guys always win. That's America.
That's America.
That's America. There's places in the world where where the children are respectful.
Mhm.
Just off the bat, the children are respectful. Not in the West.
Yeah.
The West have got these demon children that don't respect nobody. You know, demons, like they can't even learn. How you expect America? Listen, how can America compete with China and Japan when their kids go into class, they sit down
In orderly fashion.
in an orderly fashion. When the teacher says it's time to do something, they all do it. You speak to that child, they will say, yeah, education is very important. In America or in the UK, at least 50% of the time in lesson is managing behavior.
Yeah.
And the children don't respect education. They only respect entertainment.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. How can you, so then you're competing with a child in China and India, but when they go into a classroom, the whole hour is spent on learning.
Yeah.
You go into a classroom and 20 minutes is spent on learning. Add that up.
Over here, it's compounds.
And then what you're learning, because now they feel the textbooks are bloody dragged.
Dumbing it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So then how can you compete? So by the time a child gets to 16 in China,
So far behind.
these men here are way behind because of the way the mentality of the children ain't even geared up for them to learn nothing, because their behavior is so wild and out language that the teachers spend most of their time managing behavior than actually teaching. And that's a fact. And you can go on YouTube and see a whole bunch of teachers leaving and they're going to Australia or they're going to another country to teach because they're like, we can't do this. Well, I'm sure if you go Ghana, the teachers ain't over there fighting with the teachers to get them to learn.
It's like a village style learning. Like they'll beat you and your parents will beat you for getting beat.
I will never forget the first week I got sent over there to go to school when I was younger. And obviously, everyone's all giving me attention and how you speak English, blah, blah. So obviously, you know, I mean, I'm doing too much talking, isn't it? So the teacher beat me. And I was like, bro, I'm British. You can't do that. You can't. So then
I'm a Roman citizen.
yeah, I bet, yeah, it is. Basically, that's what happened. So you know, it's interesting, man. My aunt had to come to school. Like, look, that guy, you don't understand. And the teacher said, "Out, he's in Ghana." So then after, so then obviously, then I started to like learn different mindset.
But these Americans don't consider all that cultural.
When I went to school, when I made my primary school in Ghana and come here, bro, my first day, someone threw a fucking egg at the teacher and I sat there and I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
And that's what they showed you in that program, Adolescence. Yeah, one of the most accurate things they showed was the way the actual school was and how even the teachers are like, fuck these kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's an accurate depiction of most schools in the West in general. Like the whole culture is fucked. And so how do you think you're going to compete with these men in the East that are basically drones?
Yeah, literally.
Where the kids are in there learning. I watched some video. The kids are learning how to suture. And then fucking like they man look like 11, 10. And they're in there learning how to quietly sit in there just concentrating on what they're doing. You try to do that here, man, they're gonna be killing someone with it. Hey, I got ADHD and all this shit.
In Korea, what do you call, which they go left with it ultimately, because it's like, but basically you've got this particular test you take at whatever age it is, and this test basically determines the rest of your life.
Damn.
But which is why I say they go left with it. But basically, it's so important. Planes aren't allowed to fly. Transport opens later. The whole country shuts down to make, and it's basically as a thing, it was like, this is so important. We're not even going to give you any kind of distraction because you need to pass this test. So as a child growing up, you're like, yo, I've got to perform because if I don't do well in this one particular test, and you see the importance of it, because from time the entire country shuts down.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's different,
Multiple
man.
precepts,
But the
loads.
Americans don't understand all the different ways that they've been destroyed, man. It's not just about you. They moved your manufacturing. They dumbed you down and,
Yep.
and made the culture where your children are toxic. Yeah,
Toxic, yeah.
mainly just bullying each other.
That's
Yeah,
based
for
on
real.
expense.
They basically just go to school to bully each other,
For real.
Yeah.
That's how the school system is.
bully and have sex and spread STDs. Yeah, that's it, man.
Bro, second we're gonna have the sex with her.
Anyway, go on.
Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not.
And you
depart from
never hear them talking about this because when I was growing up, I remember when I was in Montserrat, one thing I used to hear people say all the time was the children are the future. So that man was really onto like the children and making sure that they grow up right. In America, there ain't no such thing as the children of the future. They destroy the minds of the children from young.
Just the elite schools, you know?
Only the elites, their
Yeah,
children get to go to proper schools. But in public schools, it's just bullshit going on. And no one really cares because everyone's just busy working and trying to survive. And then so the children are being destroyed by the TV, by entertainment, and by the school system. And then you want these men to be engineers working in high-end factories. No, they're going to have to bring in engineers from India. Because them man over there in India learn. Like, you man ain't learning. You man can't code. You can't code like these man code. Because you're too busy. You want to party. You want to have fun. These men over there in China ain't trying to have fun.
Yeah.
Which are not allowed to have fun.
Which again, that all goes back to the wine, because you think about it,
Mhm.
that whole like bad boy mindset, and in school it's cool to be bad. That comes from shit we used to learn on TV.
Yeah.
Shit. You know?
Yeah, that's why them
That's the
countries hot try and stop that wine from getting into their
Yeah, yeah.
countries, man.
Yeah.
It's true. That Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
want to be
yeah,
like Zach.
yeah.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
American Pie,
Yeah,
All of that
fucking
nonsense.
scary movie.
it's an American Pie. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
all-
shit.
all-
Yeah, most of their college
Yeah.
TV programming is surrounding stupidity and
Stupidity.
Yeah.
sex. It's not really about man going to college and being
Yeah.
a genius.
Being
And
a
learning.
fucking loser.
Yeah, and
It's
then,
really being a loser and having sex. Yeah.
and then always bullying the one smart kid
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah.
The nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah, whatever. Like I said, man, you go to certain places in the world,
Yeah.
children are not like that.
It's cool
Yeah.
to be a nerd.
It's cool to be a nerd, and the children are respectful to
Yeah.
adults.
Cool.
They're not on the bus, on the public transport, acting
Yeah.
crazy, like how they do here.
It's
Yeah.
mad. As I said, in other parts of the world as well, it's like women are taught to look for a man that is sustainable, right?
Yep,
that will
yep.
actually help them, which is why ultimately, which that goes into the fact that he's in power. But that is why you'll see these heathen women with these Edomites, because it'll be a guy that is from a certain university, a certain college, or whatever, what have you.
Yeah, but they're mature. They mature. They make mature decisions. They're not
Yeah.
just drugged out,
Rash.
rash,
Yeah.
just
Just
childish. Basically, America
It's just a big
is
child.
a big teenage
Yeah.
lack of wisdom. Just do stupid shit,
Yeah.
like, and then it just continues on for the rest
Yeah.
of your life.
So,
Anyway, we keep it going, but that's something that Trump ain't gonna fix that. Well, he preys on that.
yeah.
Him and the rest of us, they prey on the stupidity of the American people, man, or the immaturity.
This is Proverbs, the 22nd chapter, verse 15. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child,
Mhm.
but a rod of correction shall drive it far from him.
Yeah. No, what does that mean? The children are impulsive by nature,
Indeed, correct.
right? But when you apply discipline through the rod, it helps to curtail their impulsive nature. Oh no, but kids will be kids. But them kids in Japan ain't like that, because they learn how to be. They learn how to, when there's a time to play and a time to get serious. But here it's just like
Where it's just like anything, like you plant plants in the garden, right? You have to cultivate it, right? You have to control how it grows.
Yeah.
You have to nip things in the bud, as that saying goes, right? You have to, otherwise it's gonna grow wild.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's been taken away. The power has been taken away to correct children, to make sure they grow the correct way.
Those say that thing
is
posted. Yeah, there was a mum. She took her iPad from her child and got thrown in jail.
Yeah,
Because she took her child's iPad.
but the iPad's poisoning that child.
Yeah.
Which is why they're all bloody. I will say the amount of young girls now you see that are just bugged out, holding hands, and they're still in their school uniforms, like rah. You know, it's fucked up, man.
Yeah,
I got a precept after.
them vapes as well. Or like,
Yeah,
little children in school, bro. In the parks, they're smoking vapes.
Kids. Have you noticed nowadays a lot more people have just weird,
Oh, bro.
stupid tattoos?
Yeah,
It's-
and the scrap and the slits as well.
Yeah,
The slits,
yeah.
Degeneration.
I,
Yeah, that alone shows you that America can't be made, because a people doesn't become strong just based upon economics. It's also the people themselves.
Mhm.
The way that they
values and culture.
values and culture. And America doesn't have the value. People are talking about, well, in the 1950s. Listen, the American people of the 1950s ain't the American people of today. You're not the same people. These men are not built the same way.
Yeah, they're arguing about what a woman is.
They're not on the level, man.
No.
Them man don't know about hard work. Most of these youth today, even in the West, right? Them man don't know how to graft hard. They don't want to graft hard.
No.
They want everything easy. They don't come from that kind of mentality.
Uber, innit?
I tell you straight up, these young youths here, like my dad's generation and that, all them man are hard workers. My dad's generation of black man from the West Indies, yeah, them man were made to work. Trust me, them man don't mind work. And they work hard and they're good at what they do. And these new little niggas today ain't gonna be wanting. They don't want to do all that. Them man don't want to. They don't want to graft. Like they're not trying to do all that. Okay.
They don't know what it's like to, because in the West, for instance, you got this concept of every child must have their own bedroom, as an example, right? Whereas, like we said, when brother's parents came over, or whatever, it's like, yo, however many man fit in the room, fit in the room.
But they got
They don't know how to live like that.
105 on a box, brother.
Yeah,
them man
I
are
got
just
this.
entertainment junkies.
Whoa, that's perfect. Ecclesiastes 10:6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place.
Yeah, wickedness, man. Everything that's wicked and foolish. People nowadays, these youths just want to be influencers, man. That's the thing what they want to be. And they're chasing after entertainment goals. And it's been like that for a while. The majority of poor people all trying to hit the jackpot being an entertainer. You know, that's what's in their mind. I want to be a baller. I want to play basketball. I want to do all this foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been done for a long time. Rap, being anything to do with entertainment has taken over too much of people's mindset and the way they view life, and they feel entitled to it. I was talking to my sister the other day, man, and man, I was talking to her about my kids, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel that she should go this way. I think she should do STEM. Yeah, but you can't kill their dreams. Man, fuck all that dream shit, man. Reality, man. All that dream shit is rolling the dice. And that's the problem with a lot of these people. They're trying to roll dices, man. But they want to make America great again. When half these men just want to try and make a band. Fuck, man.
You know what I mean? You think men of the age world or children of the age world, they had dreams like that?
Dude,
Just do the work.
why can't you do that for a hobby? You do a hobby on the side, man.
Yeah, and because I was saying, in the field that I'm in, I mean, there was a time where I'm in software. There was a time where you could be earning bank being a software developer, right? And it's just like that is a easy, what's the word? You can actually attain that, right? Being a football, you spoke about a couple of weeks ago. It's like such a small fraction.
Nobody was doing it.
Yeah,
I remember when they started bringing computers into the school, ain't nobody weren't caring about being no coder. Man was still trying to play football, and they just go uni for the sake of going uni. No one was really thinking, let me just learn how to code. I don't remember anyone actually learning how to code. When we went on the computers, we were going on them little chat things.
Oh, yeah.
Or remember there used to be that game website where you
I
play
can't
the
remember.
the flash game. That's what man was doing. Man wasn't sitting there trying to learn how to code.
Bebo, and
Bebo,
MSN, of course. You can
Yeah,
talk to the
MSN.
girl.
Yeah, man was messing around, like, you know what I mean? But that's the West for you. Then you wonder why India and them, man, they weren't doing that.
No, that's why they're the majority of the. I mean, the
coders.
tech CEOs. A lot of them are bloody Indian. Man.
They're not playing games.
I'll go this way. So it says overall average, while specific averages vary by position, reports indicate that in 2019, and this is UK month, right? The Google compensation for UK employees was approximately 234k. In the UK, that puts you in like the 0.0.
They'll make it that.
Your top percentage, right? Your smiley compensation. Salary. Yeah, so total compensation is 75 because the thing is, with the base salary, because the thing as well is like you get your salary, but then you can also get shares. and stuff. So you get certain man when you go into American numbers where it says like entry, it's hurt entry level, right? Software engineer in the States, 190 grand. 190 grand.
Yeah, decent, man. But niggas want to, want to be rappers.
Yeah.
That's how the
Half,
game goes.
could be $500,000 if you was a top level don in the States. Half a
It's managed, man. So they really, and that's another thing that people are talking about. That America doesn't have the human capital to do what the government do. They don't have the human capital because that's not the kind of people that they've been producing.
Right, exactly.
They didn't produce these type of people. You know what I'm saying? Like that can operate these
people that
machinery.
You know what I mean? It's just people
People that talk shit. That's what they raise.
yeah, yeah,
People that can
Big
talk
ego,
shit.
yeah. Pride.
Ego in America.
You know?
Yeah.
Talk about LeBron James and,
Come on,
and,
man.
and all this stuff. That's what they can
So
do.
we expecting that some guys, just fat guys, to start making shoes now in the factory. He's just there. That's not gonna happen, bro.
You still got Revelations?
Like, how many
Yeah,
hyper-intelligent
17
people come out of
or
America like that?
yeah. Well,
How
look,
many hyper-intelligent people come out of America? Really?
No, a lot of it's
Compared to how many
imported.
people they got in the country, it's not.
Yeah, a lot of it, even Silicon Valley, they import a lot of their people,
talent,
man. And that's what even Elon Musk said they got to push through the H1B1 visas. Because even he said, listen, if we're gonna transform and do this technocracy thing, America doesn't have the people. We're gonna have to bring them in from India. And then the man got angry about it. They because MAGA thought, America first meant they were just gonna kick
Bro.
all the immigrants out. And now it turns in actually they need certain immigrants.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Look, have you seen that image of like the math Olympiad or whatever, and it was like US versus China in the final, and they're all Chinese. The US team's all Chinese. Obviously, the Chinese.
The ancient world is the same way, right? Some man has certain skills from different regions. You
um,
gotta get that guy to come and
a bit.
So what skill does the Americans have? Sports and
eating pizza.
and porn.
Eating the eating contest, man.
Yeah,
They win
The
that.
eating contest and the porn Olympics. If
Yeah.
you want those, they're gonna win that.
Oh yeah. But that's what it is. Proverbs 29 and 15. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall.
Right. So a lot of times in the West, the kids are already raising themselves
Yeah.
because the parents have been put in a position where both parents, to make ends meet or to have any kind of standard of living, have to work full time. And you know how insane that is. If you've got two parents that are working full time, that means that the amount of time you actually spend interacting with your child is
High and high.
it's really nothing.
Yeah, for real.
They spend more time interacting with their peers, their teachers, and the internet than you. And then even when you're interacting with them, you're too tired to interact with them in a real way because you're fucking tired. So
You just want to do what they're doing, just turn the TV on.
So really, you don't in the West, you don't raise your children. You don't have really no impact really on who they become because how many conversations do you actually have with them? None, like hardly any.
Connections you have.
They spend most of the time on their phone talking to their friends, or
Like surrogate mothers.
Yeah, for real.
they'll have ideologies in their head that you don't even have
Yeah,
because of shit they were watching.
for real.
Sometimes I even caught my daughter. I was like, where did you get this idea from that you're talking about? I had to correct her quick, like, yo, that's bullshit. But she got that from somewhere else. So if you don't talk to your kids and instill in them who you are, someone else is.
It's with the story of Troy, right?
right,
It's a
yeah.
Trojan horse. All of these different things are just Trojan horses, and it's like, it's in your house. You don't even know it's in your house.
Evolution.
Yeah.
You don't have to teach them that. They're gonna get it somewhere else, and it's gonna be reinforced by the school, the TV, this, that, and the other. Their friends. Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas. My kids know all about it. Like this, that, and I don't celebrate it. Why? Because they're gonna spend more time really in the world where, and then you look like you're this little voice compared to the majority of voices that's trying to tell them something. Yeah, you're trying to tell me this, but this person told me this different, and this person is wrong. So you're a little voice in your child's life. It's not supposed to be like that.
So listen, it even says, correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give the light unto thy soul. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So like if that takes place, there's light unto the soul. But this school system says basically if you do,
Yeah, you're not
it's
allowed
abuse.
to do it, man. And a lot of these man that's bad boys that Shakala also brings out. Yeah, it's worse when you ain't got a dad, but a lot of these men have got dads.
Yeah,
It's just the dads at work.
yeah, for real.
So while the dads at work, they're in school with all these bad boys anyway that ain't got dads.
I've seen
So
it
they're
with my
going
eyes.
along with the bad boys that ain't got dads. And then when they go out on the roads, dad can't be there with him. Dad's either at work or tired at home, so he's on the roads with them, man. And then he's not looking up to his dad. Why should he? He's looking up to 50 and all the man them in the ends. So and then what can he do about it? You barely have any time to really even interact with him because your ass is working to pay all the bills.
But he's got 50 on repeat.
He knows all the words that 50, and then when you try to tell him something different now, he's like, but you ain't cool. You ain't what you know. You old. You don't know nothing what's going on out here. It's true, man. So a lot of these dudes, this world is messed up.
And that what makes it even such a miracle. You know, the fact it's a miracle that we've been able to come out of this world through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Because people grow up in the same ways. Like, you know, people had these guys, you know, influences in this world in our lives. They've had it, but they've not affected us to the degree where we couldn't be saved. You know, Most High open our minds and our ears to understand that this world is the bullshit, man. This isn't the right way.
And that there's a better way
Yeah.
coming, right? Because that's the thing that always has me kind of say is because you speak to certain people in the world that know something's not right, but they just don't have an answer. They don't have a solution, right? They think they think
He's also give the solution.
yeah,
They're powerless, which they are in a degree. But that's why you just gotta keep faith, because the world, as much as this world is set up to destroy, the world to come is going to be set to edification. So it's going to be the opposite of how it is now. Whereas this world is set up to destroy the minds of the people, our world is going to set up to uplift the minds of the people, just in general. People are going to be more intelligent. People are going to have more wisdom, because we're going to be the light that pushes that wisdom into the world. And we're not going to need to rule through deception and lies and dumbing people down, because we're real powers. Unlike Esau. Esau needs to destroy people in order to be where he is.
Yeah.
That's the only way he can operate. He can't operate in truth.
yeah.
Because if he told the truth, everything will fall around, because he's charlatan.
It's 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared.
That's right. Our kingdom is different, man. Our kingdom is going to stand on truth. So we're not going to have to come and hide and secret. Oh, that's national security and all this bullshit, man. Esau just lies. Esau can't tell the truth.
And hiding is like an admission of guilt, man. You know you're fucking guilty. You're doing weakness, man.
Yeah. And it's powerful because the scripture says basically every knee shall bow and tongue confess.
Yeah.
Everyone gonna know.
You're gonna know what to deal with.
That's the Lord.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be.
And what we
It's
say,
big to them.
what we say is what we do. What we say is what we do. This is what we do.
Our creed.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have no long. You look at Maccabees. Remember, you look at the speech that the Maccabees gave, yeah, Judas Maccabees, yeah. But that speech was short.
Yeah.
Man was short and to the point, man, and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's how it is. These men will give you these long, blown out speeches, and the whole thing is lies.
And like laws that change every year. Okay, this section A, because it's interesting, man. If you actually go back and research stuff that was taking place in Rome, they used to have like just laws just get made up.
Yeah.
But all right, if this happens, this is what we'll do. If this situation may happen, it's like, bro, they was changing the laws every fucking day.
Well,
It's the same
same
thing
as
now.
now. I was saying, and look at the size of them laws as well, which goes to show you when they're saying, "Oh, Trump's just written on he did this." You see, you'll be a page booklet that thick. You think man stood up with a Mackie D's and a Coca-Cola just like writing that last night? Like, nah,
He's reading.
he just signs, puts his name on.
Another thing they were complaining about towards the end of Rome, actually, which is quite funny, is immigration, but in terms of slaves. Because remember, you had ordinary Roman citizens that needed jobs.
Yep.
But because their man brought so much slaves in for the empire, the average everyday citizen didn't have a job.
Yeah.
And that's why they had to bring in the bread and the circuses,
Yeah.
the welfare, because these men would normally be working in the fields of the patricians and get paid off that. But when the man then brought in all the slaves, then they didn't have a job. But it's really the same thing that's happening now.
And at
But at the
times,
beginning, they thought it was great.
yeah.
But I ain't got to do this.
The glory of the empire.
I ain't got to do this work. I've got slaves doing it now. I ain't got to do the hard work. But they ain't got no jobs.
And like it's spiritual as well, because in Rome, sometimes an actual slave would have way more skill than actual someone who's from
Rome,
Rome.
yeah, 'cause they didn't-
So then the slave becomes an actual boss.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they excelled about
Yeah.
the actual citizens.
Yeah.
Like,
So then you can kind of put that into the illegals that
That makes
come
you
into
vex,
America,
Yeah, it makes me vex.
but also the outsourcing of
Yeah,
of the work.
Yeah.
And it's left the American citizen wanting. Like you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
a job, but it's not what you really wanted.
Yeah.
And it's not giving you the lifestyle that they spend all day shoving in your face.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like America's so messed up here, is that the media spends every day shoving certain lifestyles in your face that you can never change. Like these women literally, they're not just women, because the men too. The men they sit there looking at these niggas, you know, with the diamond chains and all the women, and you will never live like that. Yeah. And then the women are looking at Kim Kardashian flying around the world and doing this, do that. And again, you will never live like that. So you're constantly just
Human.
looking and chasing something that you can't get anywhere.
There's so many shows. Because I like my interior design stuff. I started watching one buying owning Manhattan. And you're seeing some of these yards, and it's like I was like, Russ, that's so easy to become covetous.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing
Envious, covetous.
you
It's
see
your eye, innit?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like this one is opposite that Central Park or whatever. It was, at the time it was listed. It's listed for $350 million. This penthouse, and you're looking at that. It's like, yo, how can you even afford this, that, and the other? But that's breeding that ideology, man. That always looking and not being content with what it is.
What is it? That's the thing that they're pushing their culture too. Don't ever settle.
Mm-hmm.
Don't settle. Like, you know, just work. You know, fake it, you make it. Anything you need to do, direct. Try anything you need to do to try
credit.
to attain this, do it.
How you
Credit.
do it? And that's another thing. That's really how they've done it. The American, they've managed to allow Americans to live above their means through credit. One thing that people in the West don't realize here is that there's places in the world where man don't have credit. They can only buy what you can afford. Period. Like with the way I live, I know that my whole life is based around credit. So if I need a washing machine, I usually buy that washing machine on credit and I pay it off. Because for me, it's a big expense to just drop it off, and I need the washing machine now. So if something, let's say my washing machine broke today, it's very unlikely I'm just gonna go buy a whole fucking washing machine like off cash. I'll just buy it off. That's why they have the buy now, pay later, and things like that, right? Cars. Most people don't buy cars cash. The only reason they're able to get a car, unless it's a banger, most of these men in London you see driving around and they got a nice whip. That's on finance.
Yeah.
They didn't buy a gold spend like 7, 8 years on the car. And that's been another privilege that Americans have enjoyed, and that's kept them in a certain situation. But they're going to take all that away.
Yeah.
They're going to take all that away.
And if I could say, that's what people may not seem to understand, that these people that live in these nice areas, they're hurting too. Because once again, if you got access to greater credit, which these people that live in these areas do, guess what? You're not getting the regular car. You're getting a more big boy car. Same thing with, like we were saying, when you and your missus are earning 100K each, right? You're not getting a yard that's 500K. You're getting a yard that's 1.2 million.
You're living above your means still. Yeah, a lot of it is designed that way. A lot of it is designed that way. But the rest of the world don't really live like that. So for the idea of these men, and the reason they're allowed to live like that, again, is the systems have been manipulated to allow for that. You know what I'm saying? So when they're saying that these men over here are robbing them, these men have been living within their means, and they can only live within their means. Whereas in the West, these men are over here enjoying certain things that they would not really, the rest of the world don't get. That's why you got an iPhone. You know, the rest of the world wouldn't even, on the wage you got, the rest of the world wouldn't get that iPhone where they are, relatively speaking.
You can see it where they're sold.
3-4 models behind.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, so that's why you can see where it's sold. Like iPhones are mainly in America, and obviously in England too. But it's like when you see the percentage of Android versus iPhone in a country, in places like America and England, is where you do get that higher percentage of iPhone use.
They're expensive, bro.
They are
To get a new flagship phone, the prices that they're kicking out.
It's insane.
That's how the pound looks like
Standard.
Yeah,
But I have this real quick.
Yeah, man.
Just First Timothy.
6 months later.
Yep. 1 Timothy 6:6. But godliness with contentment is great gain.
Yeah, man.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why you got to be content because this game will have you overplaying yourself, man. And a lot of people are gonna find themselves in that situation.
Huh?
Yeah, and it's spiritual because the spirit that I mean of Esau is totally opposite. It's just I can't stop eating. No,
That's strange.
which is the spirit of Babylon.
That's what
You know, that scripture
Oh,
speaks
cannot be
about that.
satisfied.
You know, hell, basically like a grave that just can't be filled.
But that's what
Bottomless pit.
Who had revelations?
I had revelations.
Like, let's finish off on that.
that's what happened in 08 with the Lehman crisis. But like,
Credit
bank could just get credit for nothing.
Well, it looks like there's a credit crisis happening right now.
Mhm.
You know, with so we'll see how they play it. I mean, I don't, we'll see how they play.
We'll see how they play. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But them treasuries and all that stuff and all that. Yeah.
So
Interest
this
rates.
is Revelation 17 and 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Yeah, we've seen that because they like it. The LGBT is pushed in America. Everything is pushed through America, man.
Yeah.
And no, tell me no bullshit about Trump because Trump got straight up Batiman in his cabinet. Trump ain't changed that. America's still the Batiman capital of the world.
For real.
Batiman to the world. That's how them man deal with this thing. So don't give me no. It's still Sodom.
Yeah. And I mean this
And abortions ain't stopped either.
and abortions ain't stopped. And I mean this verse here is a big deal. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And all you got to do is just go and look back in anything that affects us that's wicked and see. Well, even these jabs, these big jab companies,
Yeah, American.
they come from there.
Pfizer.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
Advertising.
no, but it's like there's a whole spectrum of things that are in food, like that mess up food.
Yeah, but
It
listen,
goes to Babylon.
America's listen, man. Come on. They
It's
spend
everywhere.
all that money on their military, and them man are struggling for healthcare.
Yeah.
They should have the healthcare system in America based upon the money that they were making. Them man everyone should have access to the best of the best of healthcare very
America,
cheaply.
right.
That healthcare should be subsidized, man. But they spend all the money on wars.
And fucking space rockets.
And that's what they brought from China. There was a guy from China saying that. It's like, bro, you talking about China. China ain't made as much money as America. America's the richest country in the world. So if you got a problem, if your people are feeling like they've been robbed, I don't know why you're looking at China.
Yeah.
But I told you what he said. He said, but you know what China hasn't done? We haven't gone into any wars. So we didn't spend trillions on this. We spent the money on. That's why there was one woman who was showing in China. They have to pay for healthcare, but it's very affordable.
Yeah.
And she got everything she wanted to do that day, and she was showing all the different prices. She's like, yeah, fix my eyes. My eyes are fixed now. And it was like 2 hours later. So it took her 2 hours. She got bare scans, bare everything, got the treatment, out. Absolutely affordable.
Yeah.
Why are Americans not got affordable healthcare?
I used to work with one guy. He was from Seattle, and he used to be a lifeguard, right? And he would say people would drown, bring him back, and they would beg him not to call the ambulance.
Yeah,
Would beg
that's
him.
crazy.
That's crazy.
That's
You
crazy.
died, bro.
Yeah, like even having a baby can cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One woman, she said she had triplets.
Hell.
And then obviously with triplets, that's not something that's like normal, early and this, that, and it'll cost her $1 million.
Basically, if you don't have the insurance,
Oh no, but they come out that even if you have got the insurance,
wow.
you still get fucked.
Yeah, but you shouldn't even need that.
you shouldn't even need
The
it.
amount of money that
Oh.
America has generated, public health should be a thing that's just taken care of.
It's immaculate.
But guess what? All that money, I think someone did something about money that goes to NASA. I think NASA gets like 100 million a day when you do the numbers. Like so much money just gets flooded in, and you're like, what, to go to the Mars? Why wasn't that money put into the healthcare system? That would probably benefit these men more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you,
Bro, when you do the numbers, it's something crazy. NASA gets bare money,
Yeah.
like from the federal government. Like, I mean, the military-industrial complex alone, all these wars. So it's like, come on, man.
but once again, that,
the strength though, innit? They got
yeah, project the
And
strength.
that's it, man, get the
But the
cosmos
proper-
out.
I say the propaganda as well, the PR, because I remember hearing it says, so why are they spending all this money going to space? It was like, well, if it wasn't for NASA, we wouldn't have had the temper mattress. I was like, bro, really? It's like really is that what we're saying?
Right,
I
right
can't
now?
afford a 10 matches. How about that? So what is it about?
Why would you want to spend money trying to get to Mars and all? It's just no. They're just
People are
they're just
Science for that.
stealing the money, man. That's what it is.
Oh, they know they could never change.
Fucking Mars. What? You got man suffering. Like, just fix that.
Like, you know, this is the way. Fix things here first, isn't it?
Yeah, Mars.
Make sure you fix on point on Earth first, and then like if you've got money to spare, then maybe you go do different ventures, isn't it? But you fucking up this place, man. People here are fucked. And you want to waste money on these stupid adventures, man? Because
Yeah,
you've got money to burn.
Listen, America had the money, man. It's just the elites took it all, man, and did what they wanted with it. And that's what you got to deal with, man. They had the money to build the infrastructure and all that stuff. They had it, man. Go on,
Yes, it continues. Revelation 17:6 says, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
Right, so it was and is not. Shall ascend out. So that's Rome. It had its point. It went down and then it come back again in this modern day. And that's what we're in. We're the reinstatement of the Roman Empire with America coming as the head of it now. So Rome is centered in America. And that's why, you know, you can see all the connections between Rome and America.
Yep.
And that's another thing. These men are all talking about, that we don't need Europe. No, actually, no. America needs partners in order to do what they do. Right? Because a lot of America's missiles, they say that America's military is there to protect Europe. But it's actually allowing them to project their military power globally at the same time. If all these countries said, you know what, fuck you, take your military bases and keep all your shit in America, that would drastically reduce America's ability to wage warfare anywhere in the world because they need the logistics. Like when you can't just fly all your planes from America. You need places where you can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because when they're attacking, like what do you call it, Iran and all of them, they're not flying from.
They're not flying from America.
Yeah,
They got aircraft
inefficient.
carriers. You know, which aircraft carriers is a walking target now with the hypersonic missiles.
Yeah.
And a lot of these European nations are data sharing with them as well, helping them improve their own
A
technology.
lot of American missiles exist in Europe.
Yeah.
A lot of their
Germany.
deterrents, to be able to hit Russia a certain way, they're in Europe and these places, man.
That's why Turkey's such a thorn in their side, man. Because Turkey is very
Turkey's got a lot of them.
strategically,
They got
yeah,
their missiles there, yeah.
and it's strategically important, but then they're also wanting to side with Russia. So it's just like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
But it says, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not, and yet is.
Yeah, so America was always destined to go into perdition, into destruction, man.
That's right.
That's where it's going, man. And there's no one that's gonna stop it or turn that around or twist it or give it an extra day more than what the Lord has ordained, man. And you can see that, man. Like it's had its best days. It's had its best days, and it's only fitting. It would only be fitting that the guy that they singled out to save it is the guy that's gonna get it destroyed. Because that's just irony for you, man. That's the poetic nature, man, of the situation. And he said, "I'm the chosen one." What the hell? How are you having a politician calling himself the chosen one? This is insane. Like, this is just high-level psychological operation. I'm the chosen one. What is going on?
The same decree as when the old man used to pronounce themselves as gods.
Yeah,
It's
same
like,
exactly. I'm the chosen one.
When I was
Nobody could have done it. I'm the only one that could have done it. So, okay, bro.
Axe.
Yeah, man. That's what it's going on.
What's it called?
Herod.
Yeah, Herod.
What I did.
Yeah, when he was on the throne,
Yeah, can I grab that real quick?
people were like, oh man, it's a man.
Oh, it is.
Right,
Was
I think they did. I don't know if it's true because you know how they
What,
spread a lot of BS.
worms and that.
But it's the,
Yeah,
it's the pin that people used to wear with the American flag, and they're saying it's being replaced with a gold pin of Trump's head on it, like it looks like a Roman head. It's like, wow.
Nero said,
Yeah, it's
You vote for me,
It's
you won't ever have to
yeah.
vote again.
I am America.
It's talking about, yeah, we're gonna make America great with this gold card. We're gonna get all the richest, the best.
Voice
in the world.
that's, yeah,
We're gonna
yeah,
make
that's what.
That's America.
voice of a god.
Yeah, that's it.
This is.
But that is what I like. What that Arab dude said. If they said they want to sell
they selling they want to sell people American citizenship for 1 million or something like that.
Yeah, the
When I
gold
said they should just let American citizens be able to sell their citizenship. Yeah. So they wouldn't do that because a lot of like, okay, I could take 1 million, but I have to get rid of my American citizenship. Hey, it goes back to what we were saying before. I'll take that million. Man's going to Thailand or wherever. Well, actually, got too many ladyboys. I've got to pick a different destination. Wherever ain't got the ladyboys, that's what
Colombia.
Madagascar, wherever.
I'll speed through this real quick. It says Acts 12 and 20. And when Herod was highly displeased with them of Tyre and Sidon, but they came with one accord to him, and having made Blastus the king's chamberlain their friend, desired peace because their country was nourished by the king's country. And upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, "It is the voice of a God and not of a man." And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not the Most High the glory, and was eaten of worms, and gave up his ghost.
Yeah, man. So listen, man. America is heading where the apostles and elders, through the spirit, and the prophecy said it was headed, and it's gonna get to a point where everything you read about second entrance and that's gonna happen, man. Race riots, all that stuff, man. It's gonna happen, man. We're in that time. It's all a matter of time, and now I'm not saying it's gonna happen tomorrow, but we're seeing the process roll out,
Right.
and they're gonna try and make it look like things are better than they are. That's why you can't always trust the media. Because they'll lay that snare, man. Catch you out. You can't catch us out because we're always watching.
Yeah.
We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready for everything, man. Because we don't give a fuck, man. Stocks and all that shit, man. Listen,
We're not invested.
I don't give it. And even if you was, like, it is what it is, man. Listen, the scripture says in them days you gotta be like pilgrims in the earth, man. So it is
They
what
that
it is, man.
possess if they possess not.
And it's real.
That's how you have to be, man. Because at the end of the day,
It's all gonna burn.
all these things shall be dissolved, man.
Yeah.
The kingdom of heaven,
Yeah.
we're gonna build it from the bottom up anyway.
Yeah.
So that's all good.
Right.
We're gonna have all the stocks then.
That's it.
You know what I mean? All right. So any last words or anything? Yeah. Let's close up. Are you on the camera? Yeah, let's see. I think I moved too much.
The book of Revelation 18, I'm starting from 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of our sin, and that ye receive not our plague."
Yeah, don't invest yourself, your soul, and your spirit into the world or into America, man. Disconnect your spirit from America. Let it go. Just let it go. Right? There ain't nothing there. Don't put your hopes and your dreams. Put your hopes and your dreams in the kingdom of heaven. Now, do you have to survive day to day? Yeah, sure. We all have to go work to that. But we don't put our hope and our dreams in this place, man.
Yeah.
Let these other people put their hopes and their dreams in this individual or that individual.
It's just disappoint you anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
It's disappoint you anyway, man.
You'll get what you're gonna get, man. That come out of starts here. Then physically we're really gonna come out when the chariots come. But it starts first spiritually disconnecting yourself, man. Right? A lot, one way or another, like this, a lot of our people are spiritually connected to this place, man.
Yeah.
They're invested.
Yeah.
And that investment means that they're gonna be destroyed with it. The UK man too. I'm British,
Yeah.
They're connected with this. They ain't got no connection to nowhere. I'm not connected to nowhere. You gotta be like that. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Let it all burn.
Let it all burn, bro.
Let it burn.
You know what I mean?
Ushers in town.
I mean, even the company that like I work with, there's people that got their shares in it. So obviously the shares have gone down. I'm seeing this one dick I work with was supposed to be stopped like working like in the next couple of months. But now that his shares come down the price, he's like, oh, man, I'm not sure. I might have to keep working for a couple more years. Trump's in power now, so all the shares. I'm like in my head, I'm like, bro, just go home and retire.
Your uncle.
Your
I fucked up some man's 401k.
yeah, he fucked up his money, but I'm like, just bro. Fuck
And
that.
that's crazy that you live in a world where your retirement is based upon the stock market.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
that's
ridiculous,
crazy.
bro.
Yeah.
it's-
Oh, because
retirement's supposed to be your children,
Yeah.
man. And your assets that you've built up in your life,
Yeah.
but you got to gamble
Yeah,
for the damn
Yeah.
stock market.
Oh,
There's some economists trying to give people reassurance. Like, yeah, you might have to work 4 more years. Just
4 more.
Yes.
you ain't even got 4 months left.
That's
some of the
I
man
said,
like that. He ain't got nothing.
no, but it's like that,
Listen,
listen, that's
you
another
see
thing.
some of these
Bro,
jokes,
I
man,
know,
it's
man,
tight,
yeah.
bro.
In the company we work for, man, them man sit there for years, yeah, and them man will come and they're just talking about the pension. They're doing the extra thing, you know, the thing, ABCs where you're adding extra into your pension. Bro, no word of a lie. Half these men die about 3-4 years after
Yeah,
they
no,
retire.
it's true. It's true. It's the same
3-4 years. You know what I mean? Because the job just kills your health anyway, and then by the time you retire, you don't even get to enjoy it nowadays.
Especially if you know what they was actually saying, especially for people who do jobs where in trucks,
Yeah.
sat down.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like that going from that life to another life. People don't like
So if you're retiring after like 70, you might as well just die.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you gonna do, blood? You're tired. You can't even go hiking, blood. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you're retiring after 70, what was the point?
Bro,
You just buying kids. You're gonna buy things for your grandkids or something. But in terms of you, what are you gonna do? Travel the world.
Innit?
You're gonna do everything you always wanted to do.
Yeah.
Your back hurts, man.
Back
Tired as fuck, man. Dick don't even get up, so you can't even get the holes and shit. You know the hoe don't like you. It's not the same. She ain't feeling you, man. She feeling money all around me. Here comes the man. Yeah, man, this society is fucked, man. You slave away from that pension. And then it's just like, how do you live off kids, no? Crazy. Yeah, but that's what one guy said to me anyway. He's like, fuck paying extra money into the pension. I'm living good now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
True.
I've seen a man like that. Plantation. Like there's this one Jake. He's this guy. He falls asleep on the truck. I'm like, bro, you gotta go, man. He ain't trying to.
Yeah, man.
You wrap up then?
Yeah.
Retire, man.
For our sins have reached unto heaven, and Most High has remembered our iniquity.
Yeah.
Reward her even as she rewarded.
Oh, and that's
you.
a beautiful thing because they're in the process right now of just saying to hell with them. Oh, that white guilt. You know, now they're pushing the idea of we never did nothing wrong, which is all beautiful because it's right before the end. They're doubling down. They're like, yeah, that it was right that we did that. You know, Matt Walsh and all them, and like I'm proud of what we conquered the continent and all that. Yeah, so I'm glad you said that. So now you're gonna have to pay for all that. Right. Now you double down. You're not even repenting.
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, it's cool. All right, cool. Now you're gonna have to eat missiles, man. You're gonna have to eat that.
Yep. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to our works. In the cup which she has filled to our double. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she says in her heart, I sit a queen.
Yeah, and that's what Trump is trying to push out there. Look, we're America, All right, brother. Great. Yeah, I mean, all right.
And I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall our prayer come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Fire, man. So if things are gonna go south, America's gonna be turned into the hell that it truly is, and then the missiles are gonna finish it off, and it's gonna be all she wrote. Sure. And then it's just gonna be a cautionary tale for the rest of eternity, man. Man's gonna know, don't do what that man did. They were moving hella proud, hella wicked, and now they're gone. So, as boasting as man was, they're brawling, like broad daylight. They went out with a bang. They put the guy in there. He was talking the hardest. They went outside, man. That's it. That's how it goes, man. They're gonna go out like AJ did when win the ball. Going outside out here.
At least you went out smiling.
He's
swinging, he's smiling.
All right, man. So we're going to close up on that, man. So it's a double honesty, apostles, the elders, a great millstone, man.